A court of fairies and fiction. Akafath Girls Podcast. Hosts Nell and Liv. Episode 17, Wyrdkeys, Family Trees, and Valg versus Asteri.
Okay, so I was on the Tog chat, and I look up spoilers all the time.
I do too. I'm like notorious for it. So,
And basically, I'm at the part, well, I'm a little bit after that, but I'm at the part where like all the killings are going on or whatever.
yeah.
Right. And she saves Nox. Nox is my Lucian. If they hurt my fucking baby.
I love Nox. He's wonderful.
Love him.
I do too.
I'm gonna be so mad if they get rid of Nox. Let me fucking tell you, because he's like, oh, my whatever said that I'm immune if I lose. I'm like, they better fucking keep to that. I can't do another Sam. I can't do it.
Yeah, I know. No one has that type of emotional bandwidth.
God.
I just don't get like why does she have to hurt us so much?
I know. But anyways, so you know what happens, I'm assuming, obviously. And
for once, I know more than you.
I know. So I was texting the group chat like when they first did the whole fucking test thing, champion thing, and the King of Raterlin had to leave or whatever, and the first body was found, and I go, this is a fucking Crystallos demon. I'm like, this is a motherfucking Crystallos demon. Who the fuck is summoning them? First killing. Like, before I knew shit. I was like, okay. Ripped to ribbons, clawed face, missing organs. This is a fucking Crystallos demon.
Do you know what's so funny is that I didn't put that together until you said it.
Immediately, I was like, these are the same killings as Micah summoning the Crystallos.
Crescent City. I literally, until you said that right now, did not even put two and two together.
So, and then like they had the whole, we knew about Duke Parrington, disgusting. I didn't think he was going to be Valg right off the bat, but like she sneaks out and she sees him at the thing and like his eyes turn black and he has the ring. And then I was like, Kane has the same fucking ring. Kane's already half Valg. And I guessed it because I'm like, he thinks he's going to win. He's like way too cocky. He definitely has a Valg or whatever. And then they're like, oh, he has the ring. And then they're like, Duke Parrington was like playing with his ring. I go, the black ebony ring, which I actually think is made out of the same stone as the clock tower.
I didn't put the two and two together. Huh. I did not put that together.
Like the eerie clock tower, the imposing clock tower, and then of course like pointing at the gate or whatever. And like that's where Kane was like drawing the word marks and all that stuff. So like the scene where he's in the garden drawing the word marks, I go, it's Kane summoning these goddamn demons. I swear to God. Because Elain is like the evil in the castle. I'm like, it's fucking Duke and Kane. And also like Kane and Abel, come on.
That's so funny that you're able to like call it so early on. Because I didn't. I mean, like I kind of knew.
So like I had to.
It was kind of oblivious.
I cheated a little bit. I was like, look, I know he's fucking summoning some sort of fucking demon to kill these things. I want to look it up to see if they call it Crystallos, because I highly doubt that she called it Crystallos.
Right.
Did not. It is called a Ridderak.
Okay, I was trying to remember what the name of it was. Ridderak. I was like, what was the name?
The descriptions, same exact fucking demon. I fucking knew it.
Well, okay, so this is what she does. It's like it's the same thing, but different names on different planets.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why we're having such a hard time like piecing
Yes.
everything together.
So the thing with Throne of Glass is like everything that's tainted by an Asteri's essence is just Valg. Like there's no specifying whatever. There's no specifying demon versus a person infected. Like they're all just Valg. It's just like a veiled name because it says like known as Valg. I'm like, it's a fucking demon. It's a fucking demon.
But and see, and that's what confuses me, and that's what throws me off. Because when you say it like that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Crescent City and Throne of Glass, they have the same demons. Valg are demons, right?
Well,
And
yeah, so they
Stop.
use the same, they use Valg for everything, like the species, the demons, like anything infected with the same essence, basically.
And
Whereas
Hunt,
whereas in Crescent City they have the hell demons, the hellhounds, the Asteri, and then they have like all the other,
yeah,
specifications of different
under it.
types of them. Yeah.
Okay. And we know that Hunt is specifically bred to kill and hunt down demons. Like that's his whole thing.
So here's the thing. If you'll remember, obviously, Apollyon used Peleus's blood and his essence to make the Crystallos demons.
Yes, he did.
That's why they're Valg. They have the black essence. That's why they're called Valg.
Of Apollyon, right? And it was Apollyon and who?
He used Peleus's blood because Peleus was the owner of the horn by proxy, because I'm guessing it was Helena's, but owner
Yeah.
of the horn, and he was the only one who could track it. And then when he died, he's like, hey, you're never gonna find the horn because I'm the only one who could find it. And that's why they used his blood to create the Crystallos demon, and then they infused it with his essence, his evil whatever
So
magic.
brilliant.
So
It's so brilliant. Honestly, like I was just thinking about how amazing Sarah is to write
like,
to write this.
I know.
She kills me, but she's a genius.
It was like
So
literally the first time it was like the body was in ribbons. I go, come the fuck on. It's a fucking Crystallis demon.
I literally cannot believe that you picked up on that. Like you
I like texted the chat. I'm like, it's a fucking Crystallis demon. They're like, oh, just wait.
what did they say?
They're like, just wait. We're not gonna give you spoilers. I go, I'm right. I know. I can feel it in my fucking bones. I'm right.
So they know. See, this is what I'm talking about. All
Gatekeep.
the gatekeepers.
Elise and Miriam, fucking gatekeepers. They're like, wait till you get to this book. Wait till you get to this book. I'm like, come on, guys.
Wait, and then did someone just say, is Peleus the Asteri? Did you see that in the group chat? So they know the answer already.
Is Peleus Asteri? No, Peleus was the forced husband of Helena, who raped her to have children and then deemed himself a starborn prince.
Wait, where did it go? Oh my gosh, am I not on it? Wait, I want to read you what they wrote. Hold on.
See, Peleus is weird to me because I do think Peleus took the side of the Asteri. Obviously, he hated Thea and Adis.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, oh, I see what you're saying. Wait, I just want to read this to you. It's a fucking Chris
I don't know where Peleus fucking came from, though.
Okay, what could Peleus's other name be? Because apparently everyone's got like 3 names, right? What's his name?
Well,
It's just
Theon
called
is
Val.
not in Crescent City, and Thea is not in Akatar. So
I love how Sadie goes, can't wait for Kingdom of Ash and wait for you, Melody.
She's like, you're gonna implode.
So they already know.
They all know.
Miriam goes, is Peleus for the Asteri or for the Princes of Hell? So they already know. Like
for the
Tog answers that.
For the Asteri, because he hated Thea, he killed Thea. And then Apollyon killed him.
And why did Apollyon kill him? again? I can't remember.
Because he killed Thea. For Adis. He killed
For Adis.
For Adis.
For Adis.
Because he's like, my brother and his foolish heart. And I was like, Prince of Falcon Love. Hello, Reese.
I
Hello,
know.
Resand.
I know. Stop. I still like. I do like Reese. You know that. I know.
But
He's such a
so
turd.
here's the thing. When Selena went into the fucking tomb, and I did get to the tomb scene with the fucking
Okay.
sword.
The
The sword,
you love the swords. You should be
But
nerding
isn't that
out.
sword, isn't that Demaris and not Gwydion? That's Demaris, though.
Was
Because
it?
someone
I
had told
don't.
me, like, oh, I think that was the same tomb and sword that Rune saw during his ordeal. I think
Yeah.
I've said this before.
You were
But
telling me
no,
that.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it is either. That's why I was like asking you. I was like, how do they know that?
Like,
Because there's no way it's the same tomb.
No, that's
It's not.
Demaris. And Demaris is either one of two things. It's either the sword version of Truth Teller, or it somehow, someone said this in the chat, or it somehow like broke and then was forged into a dagger.
They're so smart.
You know what they
These
told me
people.
though? They
What?
said that it was a normal, like, light sword, whatever, until it kills a Valg, and then the blade turned black. So, Truth Teller has killed a Valg at some point.
Well, no. Truth Teller would have killed a Valg long before Hybern. Long before
Yeah, the
Hybern.
blade was already black.
It was already black.
Did Azrael kill one of the people they were trying to put in the prison with it?
I know. I know.
They know what I am? But then he's like so fucking shocked that it starts glowing. So,
I mean, maybe he just never thought it would happen. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm like, Truth Teller has killed a Valg.
So,
But again, it could have been the same blade. Like, it could have just been shortened and then forged into a dagger.
yeah, it could have been. I'm like, now all I want to do is read. When we go on our break, you and I are going to read, we're going to power through Throne of Glass, because apparently all the answers are in
We're going to have pages of notes.
You and I are going to be texting each other like, oh my God.
See, okay, so when they told me that in the group chat, I thought of one thing and one thing only, aside from the whole Truth Teller thing. Narbin is said to absorb light and be a black blade.
Yeah.
Are Demaris and Narbin the same sword?
That's a great.
Because
Demaris is the one that.
Because so it killed a Valg, which means it wouldn't let Asteri / Valg wield it, right? Amarantha would not let it touch it. It would not let Amarantha touch it.
No, I didn't.
So she had it thrown out to sea.
Shut up. Shut up.
I fucking told you her and Hybern were fucking Asteri. I knew it.
You want to know? I had a thought today, and I want to tell you this before I forget it.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about, I forgot who was saying this, but like, I think it was Ray Jealous who was like, Thea and her daughters figured out where we had hid the rifts in their worlds, right? So I was thinking about
foolish princess or whatever. The one foolish princess.
The one foolish princess. So I was thinking about this, right? And I'm like, okay, what if Tamlin's dad, right, is like working with Amarantha and Hybern, and they actually are Asteri or Valg. So they know where the rifts in Prithian are.
Yeah.
Therefore, Tamlin knows. Tamlin would have known, and he could have gotten Lauren through one of the rifts somehow, right?
But
maybe
again,
it's not
like, how would Reese not know? See, there's the whole thing of, did Reese teach him how to do mental shields? Like, could he not get through Tamlin's mental shields?
That's the thing. That's what I'm like trying to
They
figure out. Like,
never go into his mind that we know of.
and that's what I don't understand. If Reese hates Tamlin so much, like, why doesn't he just
Wouldn't he
go in
just
his
want the
mind?
truth?
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you want to see that day like replayed from him in his
Yeah.
mind?
Yeah, right. I'm thinking that Reese probably taught him when they were in the warband, and now he's
That
like,
mental
fuck.
shift. And he's like, I can't get in. But I just, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking
So
about it.
going back to your comment about how there's a different name for the same person in every
It's the
world,
same. Yeah.
I want to bring up, which kind of debunks our Kaltain and Erewhon being Azriel's parents thing, which kind of sucks
Okay.
because I kind of wanted
Okay.
that to be true. But Apollyon, Lanthus, Erewhon, golden skin, golden hair, dark eyes.
And you want to know what? They all have three names. I've decided. It's like it's three. There's three. Oh, so it's Apollyon, Lanthes, and Erewhon.
Hmm.
But I heard, and this could be incorrect, a spoiler, that Erewhon was killed in Throne of Glass.
Supposedly. The Asteri can't really be killed, though, unless it's with a made weapon.
Really?
So what happens, or as far as I know, is what happens is Kaltain, as I said, goes in, like blows up the whole castle with them in it. And so everyone is just presumed dead. Which again, Cormac, same fucking thing. In the lab.
It's weird that we see that a lot. I had another thought today I wanted to tell you. Azriel's parents, on that note, since we're talking about him, Dorian and Manon seem like kind of a very similar. Dorian is kind of like, but I don't know
I
much about
hate
them.
that people are saying that they're part of Reese's line because no.
I
Because
don't
it's
see
definitely
Reese.
fucking Maeve. It's
It has
definitely Maeve.
it has to be. But if you look at Azriel is described very similarly to Dorian, except for the
Dorian.
eyes.
Yeah.
And Manon
Has the
has
golden eyes. Yeah.
golden eyes. But also, Dorian is polite. Dorian
Yeah.
is well educated. Dorian is kind. He is like, and that's everything Azriel is. He's always
Yeah.
kind. He's always quiet, polite.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the Tog world are kind of like the grandparents of the Akatar world still.
I
But
agree with you, but I hate that.
it's weird.
It's not
But
adding
see,
up.
someone pointed this out to me today, and I always thought it was a weird line. So we do always go over the fact that Rigelis says, like, you know, the two types of Fae and then the two worlds or whatever. But there's
Right.
a line in there that says, perhaps they once shared the same world.
There's a lot. I totally haven't gotten to that part yet.
Perhaps they
Sarah
once
J.
shared the same
Maas.
world. But like a little fucking sentence. Perhaps they once shared the same world. And this would make so much sense because I'm reading Throne of Glass, and once she's at the castle, before I was like, oh, is the glass castle like over the House of Wind or whatever? But
The Moonstone Palace.
Moonstone
I thought
Palace or
about
House
that
of Wind. Well, I only said House of Wind because it said there was a library
underneath it.
said to be underneath, like
Yeah.
layers deep into like a pit, which I'm like, that's the fucking whatever. But then the whole rest of the time, it's like the breeze was laced with roses, and there was this and that and the next thing, and tree carvings. And I'm like, it's like the fucking
God.
spring court. And again,
Yeah.
Terracin is like the spring court. And when they're going into Rifthold, they're going through the wall and then through an iron gate. It's literally the wall into the spring court. And they're talking about all of the magical beings and how they were evil and they had to get rid of them. And I was thinking earlier, like, okay, so see, the only thing that catches me up on this is that like Selena was 8, so like she would kind of remember. But I was thinking like that the King of Adarlan and everything like that would be the human rebellion.
That's
wouldn't it?
that's what I was telling you, is that the king of Ireland is the human. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
So the slave war is coming up with the king of Ireland. Like, we're
Yeah.
gonna see.
So, like, how would they have jumped worlds but then kept the same? Like, it's confusing to me.
I know this is what I'm getting hung up on, and
That's
this
what
is
it's
why I'm
confusing.
like, there's a part of me that just wants it to be like separate planets or separate worlds, and just
Yeah.
everyone's a different
Perhaps
character.
they once shared the same world. So if this is pre-courts, right? This would be the Asteri War, which again, the Valg War is Kingdom of Ash. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So that's the Asteri War from Prithian in Prithian, right?
right.
With Thea and her daughters, which is another confusing part because again, Elain meets Elena. Elena's kind of a ghost. It's her grandmother. And then Elena's mother is Mala,
Yeah.
who's technically said to be like Thea, right?
So that's my understanding. Like, as I go in further, that Mala is the mother,
Is the
right?
mother, or yeah.
Mala seems to be the mother.
But see, I'm thinking Elena, Helena. It's really close.
Yeah.
But then if Elena was buried with her husband, that would have
Okay.
made the handsome guy Theon in the tomb, right? No, because if Elena is Helena, that would have been technically
Peleus.
Peleus. Peleus.
Peleus.
Peleus. Ooh. And if she is Aelin's grandmother, Aelin would be the foolish princess.
I had this thought. I
I
swear to God.
literally like, wait, hold on, it's
I
coming.
I I thought about it, but then I was like, there was something that stopped me, and I was like, no, it can't be Aelin, because
The one foolish princess. So it wasn't her daughter, it was her. So it wasn't Thea's daughter, it was Thea's
granddaughter, great
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 granddaughter,
great
Aelin.
granddaughter. But that's the problem. Is like, why do they keep saying her foolish daughter when Aelin is like the
But they
great
didn't, they said the
granddaughter?
foolish princess. They didn't technically say daughter, they said princess.
Really? I thought they said daughter.
They said that she had two
Two
daughters.
daughters.
And then later on, he says that one foolish princess. So he doesn't technically say that it was one of the daughters.
And you want to know what? It was when he said foolish that I was like, that's Aelin, because Aelin closed all the gates so that they couldn't go into all the worlds, and it pissed him off. But what I don't understand is, why is he not more pissed at Aelin than Prithian?
So
Do you know what I mean? Or was it like Aelin went back home to Prithian?
well, doesn't Aelin
There-
pass through the gates? Is
I don't
the
know.
war, because I feel like the war takes place in Prithian. It has to.
I feel like it does. You know what? We all know now the answer's in Tog. You and I just aren't far enough in it. Like, 'cause there's
But
two fucking wars.
but that means that we were right, because that means Bryce is a descendant of Aelin, which means if Aelin is if Aelin's from Terrasen and that's Spring Court, Bryce is Autumn Court and Spring Court.
Wait a second. And Feyre, Tamlin, and Bryce all share the same scent, share a similar scent. I don't understand where Feyre fits into that, but Bryce and Tamlin do. So that's where I'm getting thrown up.
Apparently, in the Tog world, which they also informed me, humans just had magic. Willy-nilly, humans just have fucking magic. Like all
I love that.
different, all different, all different levels, as if, like I was saying, of Starborn or whatever. They could have none, they could have some, they could have a lot, but it was all considered evil to humans, to like other humans or whatever. So now that I know that, Miss Ember Quinlan,
Yeah.
sure, you're human, but you have fucking magic.
Yeah.
But there's also demi-phase because Elain is technically half fae. Demi-fae, half fae.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
was half human with magic and half fae.
Yeah. Well, so it's all so Feyre. So then Feyre had to have always been demi-fae, right? Like when she was born.
she was just descended from that human line, the old fae warrior, but they could say
Aelin's line.
Demi-fae, right?
So it's just Aelin's line. Elain is the human line.
Because then you have Cormac going like, oh, cousins would marry cousins, and like bloodlines would always mix, and blah blah blah. And I was like,
So
did you know that Dorian is Selena's cousin?
I did.
Okay.
Well, it was like
Like
their
fifth cousin or something.
Yeah, like their grandparents got married or were married or something, and like
yeah.
I actually really like Dorian. I kind of wanted him and Selena to end up together because he's so sweet.
I know.
Have you gotten to that scene where she's like on her period and stuff?
No.
Oh, it's really cute. You need to read it. It's really cute.
I was actually kind of getting the ick because I was like, oh my God, Dorian. Oh my God, Kayla. And I was like, they're like fucking 19. Ugh.
I try not to think about it. In my mind, they're like 20, 25, 32. Who cares? So, okay, wait. I just want to go back real quick because this is all it's like starting to click, right? So the foolish princess is Aelin. It's all the same. It's all one.
Aelin.
The bone carver then it must be in Tog because he was saying that
he's the truth god.
Is he really?
God of truth. He's the god of truth.
He's in Tog. You know this? He's the god of truth?
Yes, he's the god of truth.
You know what? This is ridiculous.
Because something happens where the god of truth, I don't know the whole story. I think he like just kind of phases out or fades out or whatever. And then remember the bone carver is like, I'm forgotten. That's what I am.
So if he knows the truth, like you said,
it's crazy to me that he carves deaths into bone. So he knows when everyone's gonna die. And he can appear again, he can appear as someone's truth. Like Rhys is afraid of Jurian. He appeared as Jurian.
It's funny that Rhys was afraid
going
of
to have a
Jurian.
child. He appeared as her child.
But it's not really Feyre's child he appeared as. It's probably Rune.
I still don't think it's really Rune.
But he didn't have the wings.
No, but again, I think the wings were the retribution for the magic at the meeting.
Which is actually it's a good idea. It's a good thought, and I could see that. It's like, oh, you guys want to be like, cocky motherfuckers.
Well,
and, like,
just because Rhys made a whole point to be like, it'll take retribution even in the form of a life. And then all of a sudden her kid has wings and she can't shift and there's no C-sections. Like,
yeah, it's really weird. Yeah. I did want to tell you, it's interesting that the bone carver said that Aelin's line would have been his salvation had his destiny like not been determined before he entered Prythian. So I'm curious to see what
I'm kind of thinking that the Fae Warrior line is probably connected to Aelin, but for some reason I'm thinking that it's like, does Aelin's parents have any siblings or were they both just
I don't know. Not yet. I don't know yet. Because it's not she doesn't talk about it in Throne of Glass. You will not find out.
Okay. So Brannon, the dude that's talked about in Tog all the time, or that they talk about, who was he? Was he Mala's husband?
Oh my gosh, I don't really remember him. Who can you remind me of like what?
Brannon, Throne of Glass.
I read this a couple months ago.
Fae King, founder of Terrasen, ancestor of Elain and Dorian. Originally a bastard born in Wendlin, 2,000 years before the beginning of the novels, he fought the Valg with Maeve in Wendlin before emigrating west. So he was blessed with the gift of fire magic by Mala. His daughter, the half-fae Elena, founded House Havillard with her mate Gavin after defeating Erewhon 1,000 years before the beginning of the novels. That's kind of confusing.
It's very confusing. And you want to know what, though? They don't
Okay,
talk about that
so
in the
Gavin,
book.
so also with her mate, Gavin, so that would kind of go with the mating people to the awful males thing. If Gavin is Peleus.
Yeah,
If Gavin is Peleus, we don't really know.
if Gavin is Peleus. Which, again, there we go. There's the second name. There are two names for Peleus right there.
So that, I mean, we would be right then, because that would mean Mala is Thea, and that would mean if Fionn was Fae, that would
Who would
make
Fionn?
Elena / Helena half Fae.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but here's my thing. I thought Helena was described as having dark hair. Right?
Yeah, well,
And
but
Elena's blonde.
well, Elena is kind of in like spirit form. It says that she has like silver hair, and that's just no pigment, technically.
So,
That
like, if she's
that
in,
she had like flowing silver hair. I was like, silver. But then I was like, she is kind of dead, so
yeah,
she's dead.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I find it really weird how like it again, it's very spring court coded, but it's also very autumn court too.
See, I didn't get Autumn Court vibes when I was reading it. I'm
That-
surprised by that. I got like more like night court.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's
It
just like
says
it's very
magic is no easy gift in any form, yet fire we burn not just with our magic, but with our very souls, for better or worse. Fire wielder.
who else has fire that we know of?
Everyone.
I
Fucking
know.
everyone. Lucian, Eris, Einar, Bryce, Baron, Lady Autumn, all of their sons.
Okay, here's what I want us to do. Like when we come back from our break, I literally have a whiteboard here, and we're gonna write down every fucking character, and then we're gonna write down white fire, Aelin's fire, shadow fire, blue fire, Celtic. Like we're gonna fucking map this out, okay?
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah,
gonna get answers.
Who the fuck? Oh my god, someone was saying that someone had like blue flames. Who is it? You know.
We were
You
just
said blue fire. Who is
no,
it?
yeah, it was Azriel has blue flames.
No, he has a blue shield, but like someone from Tog. Is it Dorian?
Dorian has
Oh, it
blue
was Dorian.
shadow hands. He's got blue
Yeah, but
shadow
someone
hands.
said that they were like blue.
Yeah, they are blue. They are blue. They're blue shadow hands.
Okay.
He's like a he's kind of like a shadow daddy, whatever.
Shadow singer.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know.
Dorian. Cormac. But see, there's because we have to do it by magic, by
Yeah.
name, and
Yeah.
by physical description.
Yeah. Yes. No, seriously, like I'm not kidding you. I literally have a whiteboard. This is gonna be like fantasy football Tog edition. Like we're gonna bracket this out and figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, why does Kale have the same description as Baron? It's kind of throwing me off.
It's funny because I was intrigued by Irene reading her in Assassin's Blade,
Mhm.
but she doesn't read like Asian to me because I was thinking
Yeah, no,
Dawn
she's
Court.
not Asian.
She's not. She's like she kind of like sounded Italian to me, right? Brown
No,
hair,
well,
brown
so
skin.
remember, the Dawn Court doesn't have to, well, technically it doesn't have to be Asian. The only reason why Thiessen is half Asian is because his mom was seeking asylum from Zion.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
originally, I don't think they were.
So maybe it could have
Because
been.
he's like, a big portion of my court is Zionic, Baron.
Yeah.
Because they had come over after the war. But before the war. Also, I really, really love that you're like, Ezrin and Sartak. I was like,
Did you figure that out too?
definitely. Yeah. I can't.
You knew that
I don't.
before I said
No. When you said it,
Oh.
I got excited because I was like, yes, absolutely. I don't know if they were his parents or his grandparents, but either way, they're fucking connected to Helion. 100%.
They have to be because
100%.
also, like, why would she introduce, and I haven't even read to where they are,
Yeah.
a random Middle Eastern couple in
Right?
like Tower of Dawn?
Random.
Tower of Dawn? Like, really, with Kale? And then their courts end up being like right next to each other? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Also, he
But
took
like
sacred sun stags from Mala's temple. Fucking sun stags. Tamlin.
I swear.
Oh, good. His ghost makes an appearance to Elain. Okay, good. Thank God. Maybe we'll actually learn something. But Mala Firebringer was actually Brannon's mate. Having forsaken her immortality to live a mortal life with him, bearing him several children, including Elena herself.
I love how it's like several children, but they're not going to be names because that's part of the big reveal.
She cast all of her life force and power into a lock with which Brannon forged to seal the Wyrdkeys into the Wyrdgates and banish Erewhon and the other gods and goddesses to their home realm. Only
What's their
Elena
home?
stole
What's
the lock
name?
to seal Erewhon in his dark tomb beneath Marath. The lock then became known as the Eye of Elena. It's true history lost to time. So Erewhon was entombed under Marath at the end. So
Okay.
but then like this shit all happens and apparently he's killed by Kaltain. I just want to make note real quick though too that Brannon is described, it says he's described as handsome, broad features, shoulder length, red gold hair, and brandy colored eyes. Rice Quinlan in male form.
I was gonna say Autumn Court. I was like, that's an Autumn Court. That's a
Red
Van
gold
Sarah
hair,
right there.
orange brown eyes.
Van Sarah. Lucian. That's who I think of.
Well, Amber is, well, Lucian technically has russet eyes. It's like a darker auburn. Like Lady Autumn. I can't talk today. Lady Autumn. But Amber eyes, I'm like more his amber eyes. Cormac has amber eyes.
Eyes.
But
And
then the
who
red
is
gold hair and Dorian's mother has the auburn hair.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that in the beginning of Throne of Glass when they questioned Dorian's parentage? Did you catch that line, or was that just me? It
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
when she was like, he looked nothing like his mother or father.
yeah, but his younger brother
Looks
looked
just like
the father.
Yeah.
So did his mom cheat with somebody that we may or may not know?
But even still, he looks nothing like his mother. I was thinking maybe the blue eyes were due to the magic that he has.
Yeah, maybe. But
Fucking Holland. Fucking Holland.
I know.
What's her name? Chastity said that she thinks that Holland was the king of Highburn.
That's what I saw that. You know what? Like,
And then I said, countering that, if Highburn isn't the Underking, King of Adarlan is the Underking.
which makes me like, yeah.
Makes sense because again, the gates
I know.
and the bone quarter. I'm just like, but anyways.
But here's the thing is, like, to me, the timeline still doesn't make sense because when you read ACOTAR versus reading Throne of Glass, like ACOTAR to me seems more like outdated and like not as much technology. It seems like more archaic than Throne of Glass does. Like, so I don't understand that.
So I had another little theory.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I don't know if you saw the reel. I don't know what you've seen, what you haven't
I
seen.
know. I don't even know what I've seen. Like,
Yeah.
like I have no
So
idea.
I said there's kind of two options. So if by chance the Akatar world was first and not after the Tog world, then wouldn't Nox be Nyx Archeron? They described him and I'm like, why does that sound like Feyre's baby? And then they kept describing him. And I'm like, this is
But Nox
fucking
was
Nyx Archeron.
no, Nox was human. Nox was
As
human.
far as they knew. He has Reese's powers. He can make himself look human.
So wait, I want to go. Maybe.
Dude, he was an expert at archery, black hair, and the gray eyes.
But they weren't. They're not gray. They're like a deep blue, right?
What, Nyx's?
Nyx's,
He had blue-gray eyes like Feyre's eyes.
like Farah.
Blue-gray, gray. That's probably why she added the gray to Feyre.
But he was also like, wasn't Nox like a thief or something? He was like the master.
A jewel thief. Okay, but
jewel
Selena
thief.
said that she was Lillian Gordana or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, let's reverse the bloodlines then. So to me, if we're thinking about like, then Elain would be Tamlin's descendant, right?
mm-hmm.
Or am I wrong? Because no, Elain can't shapeshift, so that can't be right.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's so confusing. So there was that, or something happens, Nyx's future. He goes back as a human
Stop it right now. I love this.
to try to right a wrong in the past. Almost dies, but Selena saves him.
Keep going.
And so I was like, what if it has something to do with Maeve?
Are you saying Maeve could be Reese and Feyre's daughter?
Maybe not daughter, but if he's going back to the past, maybe, I don't know, something happens in the future. And
Stop. Reese and Feyre die in the future, and that's why Nyx is going back. What if Reese and Feyre die in House of Flame and Shadow? What if that's what happens?
Nyx would have to be older. So if we got like a time jump, I could imagine, so like everyone knows about the gates by then, though, because Hofast happens. Everyone knows the gates, right?
Okay.
So something major happens. Whether, I always have the headcanon that Nyx is Tamlin's daughter's mate. So I don't know, maybe something big happens with their parents and they're like, fuck, like, we need to go back and like look at this history to get the full story. And they go a little bit too far back. And Nyx is like, shit. So now he has to like climb through the ranks and become a jewel thief because again, if you're sent into a random world, you're not going to have money or shit, right?
Right.
Kind of like Lauren.
Shut up.
So I was like, so Nyx means night, Nox means night.
Does it really?
Owen means lord or warrior. Lord of Night. Nyx Archeron. He's an expert archery person. Feyre definitely taught him archery.
Did
I'm not done. Wait. It gets better. I told you. So he's mates with Tamlin's daughter, right? Tamlin's still alive. They have to figure this out. Tamlin makes him look mortal. Shifts him into a human.
But why? The question is,
so why? It depends on what happens in Hofast, technically. But like, what would go so wrong in the future? Unless there's another Asteri war. They try to come back again. And Nyx is
Unless
just
they're
like,
preventing.
yeah, and Nyx is just like, let's just go the fuck back and try to just destroy them at the root. And so they never fucking come back again. I don't know. But again, you're fucking with timelines though. Because then if you come back, you have no idea what the world's going to look like because none of that ever happened. Right?
You want to know what? Okay, first of all, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What made you say that? What prompted you to be like, Nyx went back in time? What happened before that? I want to know.
Because I was convinced. I was just convinced that Nox is Nyx. I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I keep reading and I keep reading. And like, we don't know his fucking backstory. Oh, he's a random jewel thief. He's lying. Just like you are, Selena. They become really quick, good friends. Like he was always on her side from the beginning. So I'm like, everyone else hated her. Immediate ally.
You're such a good reader. You want to know what? I read it and I was like, oh, Nox is a throwaway character. Like what I don't even need to know him. I don't even care about Nox.
So I actually looked him up today because I was terrified that he was gonna get killed. Because I love him so much. And I was terrified that he was gonna get killed. You know he fucking disappears like Vaughn.
Wait a second. Does he show up in Crown of Midnight in later books?
No.
Wait, I can't remember. It's at the end of Throne of Glass he disappears, right?
No.
Because I actually remember that. Like something happened and I think Selena does say like he like was gone or something like that. Like he's just like nowhere.
Oh yeah, after the number of unsolved murders in the castle increased, Selena advises Nox to flee Rifthold before becoming the next victim.
Yep.
Nox
That's
heeds her advice and flees, and his fate after that remains unknown.
But that's why I was like, he's nobody.
Nobody is nobody to SJM.
That's right. Here's what we need to do, and here's what you need to look out for, and me too, is there a character that keeps showing up that just like nobody pays attention to that? You know what I mean? Like is that Nyx the entire time? I don't know.
Like Tamlin made him look mortal because he's his daughter's mate. So and if Tamlin has all this history with Rhys's sister, he would know how that goes. He wouldn't exactly deny them.
Here's the thing that would go horribly wrong is Rhys and Feyre are gonna die in this Asteri war. That's what's gonna happen. Or that's why he's going back.
Or something happens to Tamlin.
Don't you freaking say that. But like
But I'm saying in the future, like when Nyx is older. So how old was Nox? 19, I think he said?
Yeah.
18? 18.
They were like the same age.
17, 18, yeah, something like that. And so I was like, So he's really good at archery. Literally, his name is Lord of Night. Fucking someone. So Rhys and Feyre and Tamlin have to at least be civil, which I think is probably coming up.
Why do you think it's coming up? Just because of all the buildup from Akafath? Akafath?
Well, because Lucian basically foreshadowed it. He's like, you will need Tamlin as an ally before the dust settles. So, and again, with the whole thing about what if Tamlin saves Nyx? And then, like, Nyx's mate is Tamlin's future daughter. And, like, Tamlin just always likes the kid for some reason. He's a good kid, you know?
This is exactly how I see it going. Like, Nyx and Tamlin are going to be buddies. Tamlin's going to save him, which just, it angers me. Because it's like...
Or what if he did it to save his mate? What if he did it to save Tamlin's daughter? Because what if so this is the future, right? So what if Tamlin's daughter has, I don't know, the same kind of thing that Bryce does, like the starlight or whatever it is from whatever, Elain or whatever. And I don't know, something major happens and he's like, I need to say, or what if, hear me out, with all these fucking magical objects, what if some magical object gets lost during the Arc of Throne of Glass? I'm going to pay attention to that, like the Eye of Elena or something.
Yeah.
Or the amethyst ring
Yeah.
that Kale gives.
We need to write it
whatever.
all down. Yeah.
So what if some certain magical object that was like in the past that got lost, like what if that's the only thing that could save her? He's like, I have to go back.
I'm gonna go
this
find it.
object.
I'm gonna go find this object.
I'm saving my fucking mate. Like,
or what if he's saving Tamlin? What if it's not even like,
it could be Tamlin.
Could it be Tamlin? Could Tamlin die and then the Spring Court goes to shit, there's a human war, the Fae and the humans are fighting, and Nyx is like, I'm gonna go back in time and save Tamlin because Tamlin's the only one that likes the humans and like can eat. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Nyx would do it to save either his parents or his mate.
Or its mate. I agree.
Nox has to be Nyx. Come on.
Come on. You say that because I didn't even care. Like, I was like, cool, Nox is cool. He's got a crush on Selena. Whatever.
By the time that she saved him, I was like, hold the fuck up. If he's really a throwaway character, which I was thinking, okay, he's going to be the next Sam. Immediately, I was thinking he's going to be the next Sam because he acts just like Sam, like funny, goofy. I loved him.
He did act like Sam.
And so I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to like die in this challenge and I'm going to cry again. And then Selena's like, I don't even know why I saved him. She had this weird urge to save him.
Daymari. Or just like fate and the idea of like they're going to be intertwined.
Yes, exactly. So like, and like he never made any like romantic anything on her as far as I know.
I thought he kind of had a crush on her, but I could be wrong. Like he was like,
I mean, they were friends and allies, but like he never made a move or anything as far as I know.
No, he didn't.
So Dorian was pissed, but
well, I think that's why I thought that, because Dorian's like, why are you talking to him? Who is that guy? You know,
Master Thief of Paranth. Black hair, gray eyes, human, around 25. So he was a little older.
He's older.
Affiliations and allegiances, Terrasen and Paranth. Status, probably alive. All these probablys. Yeah, befriended her, says. So, after Adarlan's conquest, Nox turned his talents toward tormenting Paranth's new rulers, Adarlan generals, and has been rumored to occasionally see to it that those stolen goods make their way into the hands of Terrasen's rebels. So the rebels are probably helping the slaves.
Spring Court. This is sounding very Spring Court to me.
And very, well, Night Court too, because they did the Highburn thing.
Yeah.
Definitely Nyx. It has to be Nyx, probably alive. Fuck off with that, SJM, probably.
If you called this, okay, see, because
now
I'm like,
oh my god, there's fan art of him.
Wait, what? Shut the fuck up.
You tell me right now that does not look like Rhysand with blue eyes. You tell me right the fuck now.
Can you send that to me? Oh my gosh, Melanie, send that to me. All the answers are in Tog. We're so silly.
It's like, but
oh my gosh, I'm amazed right now.
I'm like it. Yeah, I was like, Nox is
just like ask the group chat, but like be like very nonchalant. Be like, so what do you guys think about Nox? And I want to see what they say.
Oh, I did.
What
they're like, I don't think he's Nyx. I was like,
yeah. Did they see? I was like, that. You guys, like, I just want to tell you guys, I was telling Melanie, like, we just probably had one of my favorite podcasts, like, ever.
I'm so enraged.
Like, ever. For, like, probably a decent, like, 30 to 45 minutes. It's okay. It's not
It didn't record.
it didn't record. Not a single not a single word of it. Hey, how far back did it not record?
This entire fucking session.
Did it okay.
See, okay, you need to. I think we should both click record from now on.
You know what? We will. We'll both do it.
I'm so
So you guys, we literally sat here and talked about our brand new Nick's theory, which I love that Melanie came up with that, but that was originally Melanie's idea. Nick's traveling through the worlds, Nick's being there behind Feyre during her moment where she's shooting the arrow.
yeah.
Nyx was the one who was watching more in Silver Flames, so she's a Valheim. We talked
I'm
about
gonna
that.
do a quick recap as much as I can.
We should just do it. Let's run through it.
I think that Nyx is Nox in Throne of Glass. I looked up Nox's wiki, and it says that he's considered a messenger, which is weird, and an orphan that just kind of popped up and became a thief. And then it says that he's in Kingdom of Ash, and he sees Lysandra pretending to be Elain, and he's walking beside her, and he's like, "You're not Elain." And how would he know that unless he was a Daemati? How would he know that unless he was Nyx Archeron? And also, like, he knew her as Selena in the Glass Castle, which he explains to Lysandra. He's like, "Oh, I was Selena's friend in the Glass Castle." But for like 6 to 8 weeks, you're not going to know someone that well that if someone's pretending to be them and physically looks like them, you're going to be able to realize that, right?
Right.
So there was that part, which I'm still fucking pissed off. I'm so fucking mad right now. I can hardly talk. I'm so mad right now. I'm like, my blood is boiling right now. Oh man, I'm hot. Okay. I'm so mad. Anyways, fucking hell. Anyway.
I know.
I'm so-
We talked about like
everything.
I know.
Everything.
You want to
Everything.
know what that sucks? So that really sucks.
I like literally glanced up to where the thing would say recording and I didn't see it. And I was like, my fucking button didn't work. But anyways, so we think
talked
that
about
Nyx time travels, basically. We think, or yeah, I think that
I do
one of
too.
his
Hello. I helped you develop the later
yes,
part
yes,
of it.
yes. So I'm like, I can't even think. I'm so pissed off right
Okay,
now.
tell them about. Did you talk about the where Nyx is showing up? Like why he would be doing that? Like what? Talk about that.
Okay. Yes. So basically, I think something big happens, like Ragnarok or something
Zan
of that
dies.
effect.
Right.
Maybe or even just to save his mate, which I think will be Tamlin's daughter, just because the whole thing about, oh, the mother has a sense of humor, you know. So basically something happens and Nyx has to go back in time to write it, whether it be to find an object or to, I don't know, a spell, something to figure out. And so we see him pop up as Nox Owen in Throne of Glass, or at least I think he's Nox Owen. And I think I explained beforehand, like the archery thing and all that stuff. And if he was Tamlin's daughter's mate, Tamlin could make him look human. Remember, he can change everyone's forms. Could make him look human. But I do think that Nyx overshot the timeline and kind of went way farther back than he intended to. And that's why Nox was very kind of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And like, I have immunity because of this and that and the next thing. And I do think that he was very vague, like about his backstory, about being an orphan and all of this stuff. And even in ACOTAR, when we see, here we go again, where we see the cluster of shadows show up. So we have the dark shadows that started startled. I can't fucking talk. I'm so mad. Startled Feyre, and which basically led to her killing Andras and this whole story, right? And then we have the shadows showing up with Mor heading to Valahan, which could be a nod to her being the betrayal of the family. Basically, I think that Nyx's power is going to be to actually view people's memories, like, because Rhys is a Daemati mental powers, and be able to basically jump to them if he wants to see them, as well as, like, obviously the gate thing with him probably being a prince of hell, like Rhys, if Rhys is prince of hell, being able to go through the cracks and the rifts to wherever he wants. So that was that. I'm sorry it wasn't as detailed as before and I was fast, but it was
pretty good.
It was fucking gold before, and
it was fucking gold before. Like, I literally feel like that was a golden combo.
Remember we did
Like,
that one more time? We did that with like a chunk of the Lauren theory.
Yeah. We also, and I don't know, did we talk about Tamlin knowing where the rifts were in the earlier one? Like,
No,
did we record that?
No.
Or no?
But yeah, Tamlin definitely knows where the rifts are.
Yeah.
And by the time Hofast is over, since Nox was 25 when this happens, Nyx is 25 when this happens, around that age, something big has to happen in either Hofast or Twilight of the Gods when he's older for him to go back and be like, I have to write this. And he would know where the gates were, because after Hofast, it's going to be common knowledge where all the gates are.
Yeah. But also, we were saying that it would make a lot of sense because it would work with the Lauren, it could work with the Lauren theory, right? Because in Crescent City, Regulus was saying that the foolish princess who Melanie and I now think could possibly be Elain, they figured out where all of the rifts in Prithian were. So Tamlin's father, working with Hybern, would know exactly where the rifts were, and he could get Lauren out through a rift.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about that.
But see, so my question here is, which I didn't think of before, if Tamlin's father knew where the rifts were, like, he was so easily fooled into thinking that they were dead. Like, you don't think your son's gonna go behind your back? Like, he brought Tamlin to those meetings, remember?
Yeah, he did.
As a kid. Like, he remembered shit.
He did. And you know what also I thought of, because we talked a lot about, I know I'm like you and I are just, we keep thinking about it. I do too. Because we had some really good points. We were talking about the King of Hybern, not to jump, but like Endurian and stuff. I find it interesting that in Akamath, SJM introduced the twins, the King of Hybern's nieces and nephews, and they were Daemati themselves.
Yeah.
Bronn and Dagden. So my question or my thought is, like, were they present with Tamlin and Tamlin's dad? Like, is that how Tamlin's dad got the information from Tamlin? Did they read Tamlin's mind? Is that why Tamlin now knows how to shield? Because they got that information from him.
It could have been the twins.
Because they were allies with Tamlin's father.
Yeah, and they did tell Feyre, actually, like, we've been Daemati for thousands of years, girl.
Years.
Ooh. Yeah. Could have been them.
I don't remember if Tamlin...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. I was gonna say, I don't remember. Well, I guess we can't really tell, like, did Tamlin seem familiar with them? I wasn't quite sure. I don't remember, but...
But anyway, I was saying that maybe we were talking about how Nyx knew archery and how Feyre didn't really want to do archery anymore. But I said, what if it was a compromise that if she teaches him archery, he doesn't have to go to the Illyrian war camps? Because I don't think Feyre would send her son there. Like, I think she would fight with Rhys about that. Especially if Nyx is like, I don't want to be a warrior. Like, I just want to be a scholar. And Nyx goes back, wants to know the history of everything, like his family and everything like this. And that's how like they're writing down memories and he's going back and he's viewing these memories as they're writing them down and like he can like physically transport himself into the memory, which is where the shadow thing comes from. I think that
Or
would be
even
really
just
cool.
time travel.
Or
Or
even
even
just
just time travel.
But it would be like so cool for that. And because I don't know, I always feel like Nyx would be like, I don't want to be a warrior. I feel like that would go against the grain for an Illyrian or
I
half Illyrian or
I feel like Nyx is gonna be like real sweet. Like he
yeah.
seems like kind of like a
Like
mama's boy. Like
Nox. Nox, he's Nox. You know, he's a
he's really
sweetie.
he's like a Sam. He's
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Yeah.
That's how he seems to me.
Yeah. And then I brought up the point of where's where is Hybern's fucking spell book?
Spell book.
Because he got it back from Amarantha, as was said, basically. I forget when, but it was mentioned at some point. And then as far as we can assume, Ianthe had it because she had to imbue the shackles that she used on Lucian with the nullifying magic. But actually, maybe she didn't know. That was just the stone that Hybern gave her, right? Wasn't it the Hybern
Hmm.
stone? Hibernian
Yeah.
stone? Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't think she
So
did. So either Nyx went back and he took it to try to right the wrongs of whatever happened in the future, or as we were saying the other night, Jurian could be the big betrayal. And we know Jurian would know where it was. So what if
yes.
Jurian took it and he's waiting for the right time to pull an Amarantha on them with the spell book? And he didn't, I mean, if he has it, he hasn't brought up like, oh, there might be a spell to help Vasa and all this stuff. But Vasa is the one that helped them get the Book of Breathing. So if she's an ally to the Fae, he would kind of see her as an enemy too.
You know what I was thinking about? So let's just say that Jurian was the eye on Amarantha's ring. And Amarantha truly was like our theory. She was like the sibling to the Asteri.
Yeah.
Okay. So he would have known about
Mhm.
the Asteri, known that Amarantha was one of them.
Known that Reese was a prince of hell. That's
Hell.
why he's his weakness.
What if he's working with the Asteri or the Daglin? Like
Helios.
I was gonna say,
Helios.
what if you know, like
he was, oh my god. Jurian was thrown into the cauldron to be reborn. What if he fucking came back and it's not Jurian? What if it's Peleus? And that's why he's like, I don't care about fucking Miriam and Dracon, whoever the fuck they are.
I'm here to beg for their forgiveness or whatever.
Just play it along.
But
then
was it
wouldn't
you
more
that
know that?
I know. I thought about that. Maybe not. But was it you that was saying that, like, you know, after 500 years of like being tortured in like an eyeball and seeing some really messed up stuff, that like he's like strangely sane for
Yeah,
like
I'm like,
going through
he
that?
forgave them way too fast. Like, he became friends with them way too fast.
Yeah. Like, so like
That
what if
crazed
he's
look
really
in
not?
his eyes.
He
He is going to fucking Amarantha yo shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if he's like
And
fucking crazy?
yeah, and we were talking about how in Tog the humans have different levels of magic. So can you imagine if Jurian's like, psych motherfuckers, humans have magic too. And again, we were saying that's how Feyre and Nessa and Elain stayed alive so long because they had magic in their bloodline, which we already guessed from the ancient Fey warrior. Could have been Elain, could have been Mala, whatever her line, blah blah blah. And he's just like, surprise.
Oh my god, I'll die.
But and then jumping to Ember again, because we discussed her again. Ember, so either she could be demi-fae like how Elain is, like half fae, presenting as a mortal, because again, Elain can shift into human form. She can shift, but only into a human Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I thought she like had to die from her human form to become a fae. Are you
She's
sure?
half fae. So she, at this moment, she doesn't really know that she has a fae form.
Okay.
So I don't know, whatever happens with Rowan and all that shit, and she becomes a fae, right? And she can shift back into her human form.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I thought
So
she like had to
what
die
if
from her
Nyx
human
can
form.
just shift into his human form? Actually.
Can I bring up something that's not related, but that
Yeah.
I think also could be a possibility?
Yeah.
Hold on with me. Okay, we have this theory. Sorry, I'm gonna go off crazy on you. We have this theory that like Tamlin saved Lauren. Okay. We know that Tamlin can shapeshift. What if Tamlin, instead of Nyx, but I still agree that I think it could be Nyx. But what if Tamlin is a world walker? What if Tamlin is shifting forms and traveling through worlds? And that's why Elain asked Amryn that question, what made you choose a woman form? Well, like because maybe she is meeting up with Tamlin, but Tamlin has been changing. Is Tamlin in Throne of Glass? Is Tamlin in Crescent City and like he's a character and we like don't fucking know it? Because SJM herself said there's more to Tamlin than we know.
I know. She did.
But
But also remember,
shifter.
but he can also shift other people. Lucian says that. Oh no, like I can't do that, but Tam can shift us into other forms. Because that's how he was sending his sentries. He was making them wolves so they wouldn't look like fairies. Which is weird because, I mean, if he made them look human, humans wouldn't kill them, obviously. But he could literally make anyone look like anything. And he hasn't on page.
So hear me out. Lucian fucking knows the future. Lucian knows, and wait a second. And this is why they need Tamlin's help to shapeshift Nyx if Tamlin's not the one going. That is why Lucian's like, you're
No,
gonna need him.
Elain knows the future because she's the seer.
No, but Lucian's the one that said you will need Tamlin as an ally before the end of all of this.
This is why I think Elain and Lucian are secretly not hating each other.
No, there's no way they hate each other. There's no way. Unless they're sending messages.
Why is he blushing? And why is, like, it's very suspicious. Like, she's just going off before dawn to practice her magic. Like, where? Where?
Mm-mm.
I had a little note here that said, what if it wasn't Tamlin? What if it was Einar? But
I kind of like that theory.
but Einar's kind of cruel. I feel like he'd be
But
like,
you want to know what? Wait a second. Well, that would mean that Elain was hooking up with Einar. Do you remember? It was really odd to me in Crescent City. This was odd, and I want you to help me figure out who this is. Rune is in the study with his dad. This is after he was attacked by like the Grim Reaper things in the tunnels.
Yeah.
And Rune looks at Einar and he notes, he's like, my dad, like his hair was like someone had his hands
yeah. His afternoon meetings.
yeah. And his like shirt was like
He was
unbuttoned. So like I read it and I was like,
he's like, gag.
He's sounding pretty hot.
He's like, gag. Not my dad, like freshly out of bed. Ugh.
I know. Who's Einar hooking up with? Like
literally anyone. Like who wouldn't hook up with him? Like he's hot. He's kind of evil, but he's hot.
He's the Autumn King. I would like in a heartbeat. I'd be like, everyone hates Einar, and I'm like,
yeah,
hot dad vibes over there.
I had a thought though, because really quick going back to Jurian, but remember how I said that like Hybern wanted Elain to be his queen when he took her?
No, I don't remember that. I don't think that
it wasn't today. It was like a few episodes ago.
But I don't remember Hybern wanting Elain as his queen.
Well, he like the pretty one, like he was obsessed with her. So I just assumed that maybe
you just assume.
Yeah. So I said that before we were recording. I said that Jurian kind of reminded me of the King of Aderlin.
Yeah.
But you know who really reminds me of the King of Aderlin? Grayson and his father
I was gonna
with the fortress.
wait a second. Is Grayson the king of Aderlin? Because that would explain his hatred of the Fae. Because he was I reread that
They could
today.
be Holland's descendants. Holland, that Dorian's younger brother, was
Yeah.
a monster, like horrible. Awful. Like Tamlin's father as a human. Like he's 10 years old in Throne of Glass. The mother had to send him off to boarding school because he beat his tutor so badly. She could barely move. And they had to pay her off.
I know. I remember that. I could see that, but like in my mind, for some reason, I'm thinking Akatar. If we think Akatar is the beginning, Grayson could be the king of Aderlin. It would explain why he banished all magic. It would because he was hurt. Grayson was heartbroken, even though he was furious, even though he was such an ass to her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why we don't have a name? Is that why we don't know his name?
I don't know. But I was like, Grayson and Nolan, Lord Nolan, are really giving King of Aderlin and Holland.
They were.
Yeah. But again, I told you that I saw a theory that Holland was actually the king of Hybern, but that doesn't make sense because Hybern was Fae, right?
Hybern was Fae.
Yeah.
Hybern's Fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I know.
So if there's magic in humans and yeah, I still don't feel like even if Ember was human and had magic, I still don't feel like Bryce would be that powerful. Unless she was Demi-Fae.
I think I know that's the only thing because what confuses me is that Einar measures magic. Like
And he wanted her, just like Baron and Lady Autumn wanted her. And again, that's another funny thing because Tamlin's father and Tamlin's mother were supposedly mates. But we get nothing about their dynamic, basically. But for some reason, he gifted her a rose garden. But he's this awful, terrible person. Like,
why would he do that?
was he trying to tempt her to open a gate?
I love that. I love that.
Because again, going back to Crescent City, Tristan Flynn's family, as we know, is also a Spring Court family.
Yeah.
So what if
The
he's
only
like,
Spring
open
Court
the gate.
family.
If you're not going to marry who I want you to marry, you can just, and like shoved his sister through a gate. And like Tristan's mom.
That would be so crazy.
Right? Also, I hadn't gotten to this point yet, but it's a really good point and it has to do with this one. So, Throne of Glass, you have the ebony clock tower and the gargoyles
Okay.
are pointing to the gate, right?
Okay.
And I made note earlier that I think the Valg rings of ebony were made from the same stone as the clock tower from the gates. Because again, the Asteri and the Valg basically operate the gates, right? Which is why Cain was doing the word marks and all that shit. But the Starlight Pool. Now, I'm kind of confused with as we were saying, we're kind of confused about like the whole planet hopping and the mirrors between Terrasen and the Spring Court and even Rifthold in the Spring Court. But the gargoyles are pointing to the gate, and I'm wondering if the Starlight Pool was unlike what the fandom thinks. What if it's not like a pond or a lake or whatever? What if it's an actual like man-made pool? What if he made the starlight pool over a gate to hide it, to conceal it? The starlight pool is hiding the gate. The gate is the bottom of the pool. And they had to like spell the water to like look silvery so like nobody could see down to the bottom of the pool.
At the bottom of it. So apparently, I've told you this. The answer to the starlight pool is in Tog. Like, apparently. I love your thought and I love your idea because I think, like, why else would they have a pool of starlight? I guess
It's
an air
definitely
fire.
hiding a gate. It has to be hiding a gate.
Well, it's funny to me because like someone says in Air of Fire that like Elain makes a really big point about like starlight and like water and
Well, again,
putting it.
Mala is Mala
I know
is
we
her
lost all that too.
fucking fuck. Mala is her great grandmother who is technically Thea. Actually, so does that make no? If Mala is Thea, or actually, Mala might be What if it's Helena and Mala? What if those are the two daughters of Thea?
I think it's gonna be I think we're
And then
in the
Mala
right.
had Elena, named her after her
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
Could have. Because Mala's mate was Brannon, who we went over before.
I know.
Anyways, people who read Tog, you already know anyway.
Yeah.
Who Brannon is. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's that. And Brannon has red gold hair and the amber eyes, kind of like the Autumn Court. And then you have Elena and Gavin, who could Gavin, like, I know they're dead basically, but I don't know.
I know.
It's just that whole thing is kind of difficult because we were saying how like maybe Elena was Helena and Gavin was Peleus, but I don't know if that really works out.
I know.
It's so complicated. The bloodlines are so complicated. So somebody had to have spelled the Starlight Pool to look like Starlight, like to have the star essence, right? Because if Valg can infuse essence into something, wouldn't the Starborn be able to do the same thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I can see it.
So Tamlin's mom. So what if he was like, "Look, I gave you a nice little rose garden. You're gonna build me a pool on top of this gate so we can hide it and keep it for ourselves."
It was. I know. I know. I'm like so torn. I don't know. I feel like I have to read more of Throne of Glass. Like I feel like we can't
Yeah. And
deduce what it is.
going back to Nyx being the time traveler, whatever thing, and having all those powers. Again, if he was a prince of hell, his father is a prince of hell. We have the whole Risa winnowing in the library and his feline smile, and Feyre saying, you know, how did you just winnow? Like, there's so many wards around this place. Like, nobody's supposed to be able to winnow. And he's like, oh, well, I guess the library makes its own rules. Like, no, you're owner of the pit. That's why it's letting you winnow, because you literally are Apollyon. Like, you're literally the owner of the pit. Right? Like, that's why you can winnow, bitch.
Right.
So the feline smile, the sneaky cat things, and then we have him giving Feyre, this is where we left off, thank God, giving Feyre the cat eye on his palm for the bargain, and the slitted pupil slid to her and was watching her. And you can't tell me that's not a sign that he's not a prince of hell. Forget Asteri, forget Valg. If SJM is so adamant in making Rhys the good guy, morally gray, she's going to make him a prince of hell. because they're the good
Yeah.
guys against the Asteri, which I'll
Yeah.
say a million times to remind you, everyone. Like, and again, the Clotho thing, which I was wrong about, where Moore found her, brought her to Reese. Reese did actually go in her mind see who tormented Clotho, and then he just told Feyre, "Oh, yeah, I allowed Moore to go and hunt them." To which you said, to which you said, "Do you think Reese would lie to Feyre?" I wish I caught that because that was.
I know. I know. You know what?
And I
Oh,
said,
wait.
you cannot tell me that it was not the Asteri that tortured Clotho and then threw her through the gate because she's the goddess of fate and she could have spoken them out of existence or written them out of existence.
You know what? I also wanted to, did we talk about Reese? Okay, so then we were saying, like, has Reese ever lied to Feyre? Because you had told me, or someone had told me that at the end of like Throne of Glass, that Elain like travels. Did we talk about she travels through the world and like Reese
Yeah.
made it a point
He's the
that
one
like
that slows her down.
but someone said that he made it a point that Feyre didn't see it.
Yeah, that was me.
That
Yeah.
was you. So, but
He was
also
just like,
also, like, why do we think that SJM is like making, besides the obvious, right? Like making such a big deal about like Aelin falling through, Bryce falling sideways? Is it because it's like foreshadowing of like Nick world walking, time traveling, going through? Like, is this where it's gonna take us?
I
Nyx is the
told you,
one.
everyone was like, oh my God, the fucking pregnancy thing, pregnancy thing. Like, why the fuck did she have to do it? Like, everyone was like, it was so forced, it was so rushed, blah, blah, blah. But SJM is very strategic.
She's very strategic.
So I think she realized, like, there will be a character that's actively time traveling, world walking. What can I make this character be? And because she's obsessed with Phasand, she's like, I could have
Yeah.
it be their child. And that's why she made Feyre pregnant. And that's why Nick survived and Feyre survived and Reese survived.
Yes. Yes.
Because also, if you think about it, Nyx was dead when he was born because of the traumatic whatever. Feyre died shortly after that. Nyx was brought back with the Dread Trove. So technically, that also makes him Cauldron blessed, like Nesta and Elain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Right?
So maybe he can time travel because he was brought back with the harp.
Yeah. The
And that's the
time
entire
string, bro. The time string. She slowed down time to
shut
bring
up
them back to life.
to bring them back. Okay. I'm so excited.
I just thought of that. I was like, holy fucking shit. She had to thrum the time.
Or did Aunt Nesta give it to Nyx? And like we said, he's collecting all these fucking weapons.
But also Elain stepped out of a shadow to kill the King
Yes.
of Highburn. Remember? Elain is probably going to teach him how to.
Has Elaine foreseen Nyx and what he does?
Probably.
Is Elaine telling him where to go? Like what points in time? Because she's a
Everyone
seer?
thinks she's dead. I can hear her crying. What if it's like, is it like Nyx's mate?
I don't know. Like,
Because
what if
again,
Elaine's
stepped
like,
out of a shadow and slammed the hilt of Truth Teller, which again, Truth Teller,
I know,
Valg killer, Highburn,
I know,
and again, Lucian's sword that impaled Amarantha
I know,
has to be Demaris or Narbin, or if they're the same sword, has to be.
I know.
Right? But
Oh my
I
gosh.
do think Elain is going through worlds. I think Elaine's going through worlds.
Elaine might be the world walker, you think?
maybe not World Walker, but I think she's similar
traveling.
to a mystic,
Yeah.
which her mind can drift to others.
Yes. Like the tanks.
Yeah.
In
And
Crescent
I
City.
saw people on Facebook, they're like, she's a seer, not a mystic. They're two different names for a reason. But
No, it's
because
the same.
because there's different names for everything in each world,
There's
right?
there's three names for everything.
Yeah.
There's three.
So Throne of Glass, isn't it? No, because is there an oracle in Crescent City?
There's an oracle in Crescent City, a
There's
mystic.
an oracle, a mystic.
Mystic.
So mystic could be seer. Oracle could be.
Yeah, that's true. That's the little snag in our thing. Well, the oracle, wasn't she like Egyptian, like
Well,
what is that
oracle is
called?
just. I think an oracle is just like a fortune teller,
Yeah,
whereas a mystic / seer is you can literally
like travel.
travel,
So-
see, whatever. So Nyx is learning from Aunt Elaine
yeah,
how to except he can do it physically too,
yeah.
because he's not only cauldron blessed, but also, I don't know, maybe he can shift into a human form.
Well, because Feyre can shift herself. So Nyx
That's what
would
I'm
have
saying.
yes.
If he has a
Nyx,
drop of all of their power, like a tiny drop of all their powers,
there
and
you
can
go.
only shift into one thing, maybe he could shift into a human form.
Yeah, yeah. Nyx can shift because Feyre can shift. There you go. All right, I think we've cracked the code. I don't know. I'm convinced.
I was literally just like, holy shit, Elaine stepped out of a shadow. I was like, she's also a shadowy figure.
She is a shadowy figure.
Is
How
Elaine
crazy would-
spying on more?
I was
Because
gonna
she sees
say.
her.
I still think I like our Nyx theory more.
I like that the Nox and Nyx thing a lot.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably like I said, that's like top of one of my favorites.
Top tier.
Top tier. I'm convinced now Nyx is like the answer.
Okay, like literally
think
after
it's-
Christmas for those 2 weeks, we're gonna be like, bang
No.
out these books, literally write down fucking pages of shit.
Yeah.
And then be
No,
like,
seriously.
okay, all the characters. And then separated by characteristics, magic, vibe,
Yes.
like spring vibe, night vibe,
Yes.
powers. Like
All of it. All of it. Let's do no, seriously, like let's record us writing it down. I'm down.
Okay, hello.
Hey,
So I already had so much to talk to. And then I don't know what I saw, or I was basically I pulled up my Google and I saw that I was on the Mala page earlier, which I had forgotten about. And then I
Okay.
did like a fucking deep dive and I had a huge fucking breakthrough
Oh my gosh, I'm
going
like so
through
excited.
all of the pages.
Are you serious? Shut up. Okay, I'm excited to hear it.
So we'll start with that just because like I have to, like I literally like I put it in little like category chunks. So I was actually looking up, that's what I was doing. I was looking up the meaning of different names in the different series or whatever. So
Yeah.
Mala means garden, right?
Okay.
Means garden.
Well,
But she is known as Mala Firebringer, Lightbringer, and Goddess of the Sun. She's depicted surrounded by light and a halo of sun, which I find curious because the name Helena means shining light.
really?
You know how we were saying how they all have different names
Yeah.
in the different series? So
Right.
Helena is Mala.
I thought Helena was Mala's daughter.
No, Elena is Mala's daughter.
Okay, I feel like I should be like writing this down. I like want to get my pen and like go over this because I'm gonna ask this like a million times. Hold on, because I thought
So Mala
Helena
is
was Mala's daughter. That's like my understanding of it. But okay, all right, hold on. Oh man, really? Oh man. Okay, all right, let's do this.
Okay.
Okay.
So top of the
Okay.
pyramid,
Okay.
Top of the pyramid, Thea.
Got it.
Okay? Thea.
Yeah.
Top of the
Thea.
pyramid.
Okay.
Next tier, Mala, also known as Helena.
Okay.
All right. Just
So Mala and Helena are the same person. Got it.
okay. So I
Okay.
said she's depicted surrounded by light and a halo of sun. Obviously, she's the sun goddess. Helena
Sun
means
goddess.
shining light. That's how I figured out that that was her name, and because I was going through the names, and that's when this whole thing snowballed.
Question though, I thought Helena had dark hair.
So she did, but hold on.
Okay.
So the goddesses, all of the goddesses can change their shape and what they look like, which was noted
When did you read that?
both under Mala's wiki and under her sisters, who I will get into in a minute.
Okay, because I was gonna say I haven't read it in Throne of Glass yet. I was like, did I miss that?
Yeah.
But okay,
No,
goddesses
I was
can
like
change
looking at
shape.
their wikis, so it's like way down the line.
Okay.
But yeah,
Got
all
it.
of the gods and goddesses, which all of the gods and goddesses can just change what they look like whenever they want. And time is fluid for them. They can exist wherever they want at any point, sometimes multiple locations at the same time.
I feel like we did mention that before. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So going off of that, I just wanted to note quickly, because it has to do with that, that both Lucian and Elain mean shining light.
Do they really? They have to be mates then.
I know, right? So it says that Elain, it represents Mala because she had the blonde hair and the light eyes. But also noted under Elain's thing, it says that her first descendant, it's going to get a little bit confusing. Her
Okay.
first descendant is Mala and Brannon's eldest child. So Mala and Brannon had multiple children, remember?
Okay.
The only one that is named in the series, like as their child, is Elena. Remember, she sees her ghost and whatever. But I looked up the sisters that I was talking to you about that Maeve like mind fucked into thinking she was their sister, right? And so those two sisters are Mab and Mora. Now, Mab is the original Fae Queen that the Ash Rivers descend from. She has blonde hair and the turquoise and gold eyes, which means she has to be Mala and Brannon's first child that Elain descends from.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Now, now Mab, the one that I was just telling you about, the original Fae Queen, who's their eldest child, had a sister, Mora.
Okay.
And she presumably had the magic of air, and she had silver hair. So she is said to be the first descendant of the Whitethorns and Rowan, obviously.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So she had one child with a female. That's the Whitethorns descendant. She had one child with she had one pure-blooded Fae heir who was the Whitethorns descendant. And then later on, she fell for a human man, gave up her immortality for him, and then had a child or children with him, and that's where the Haviliards descend from.
What? Wait, so what happened to the female? She had a...
I don't know, it doesn't say. It just says later on, she fell for a human man, yeah.
Wow.
So, back to
weird.
Mala, back to the original, one of the original daughters, right?
Okay.
Now, Mala had a sister. And remember, if she's Helena, that sister is the unnamed one in Akatar. That,
Okay.
you know, like nobody, that was never recorded and all of this stuff, right? And here's where it gets really fun.
Oh, no.
So Her name is Deanna. Now,
Okay.
Deanna means
So we know her name. She's not
in
unnamed.
Tog. No, in Tog, we know her name.
Deanna.
So she's named in Tog. Her name was Deanna. And actually, it's this whole confusing thing where people, like, again, she could change her shape and what she looked like. So she was consistently pretending to be Mab, Mala's daughter instead of sister. It was weird. Yeah. So she could
Why
get
would she
powers
do
and
that?
stuff. So she could get like powers and stuff. I don't know the whole story, but it was in the wiki. Where the humans and everything would confuse her with Mab all the time. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But
Okay.
but Deanna means divine. She is called the Lady of the Hunt, the Lady of Maidens, and the Goddess of the Moon. Also protector of the young. Now,
Okay.
Deanna is literally the opposite of her sister. She is cruel and sociopathic, and she very dislikes humans.
Deanna?
Deanna. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's depicted with a crescent moon behind her and a golden bow and arrow. Lady of the Hunt.
Is this Feyre Archeron? What the fuck?
So
Okay, go ahead.
I said Deanna is basically the Roman goddess Diana, who is the goddess of the moon and childbirth and fertility. Hello. In Tog, she depicted herself with dark hair, I guess. I don't know. And I
She had
said,
dark hair?
and so I said, well, she can change her shape, so nobody really knows, but they were guessing. So I said, represented by Feyre, question mark. Because obviously. And if she's so cruel and heartless and hates humans, you know she was using them as sex slaves, like Maeve, right? So is Deanna that ancient Fey warrior of the bone carvers? They were both gods.
What? Wait, okay, hold on.
Actually, Deanna possesses Elain at one point to like try to get rid of her and stuff. It's really weird. But
Okay, wait, so what makes you think, hold on. Deanna is a god, right? A goddess.
goddess, yeah. She's
Okay.
Mala's sister. So Mala and Deanna, Mala
Yeah.
slash Helena and Deanna
Yeah.
are Thea's two daughters, basically, is what I'm getting.
Okay.
Now,
Here's
Helena slash Mala is the good daughter, which was in all the history books and all, Starborn and all of this stuff. And Deanna's the bad, evil one that everyone wrote out of history and all this stuff. And she probably also has a human line, which is where Feyre descends from. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Right.
I was gonna say, but why would the bone carver be in love with Deanna? Because she's not like he said he loved the human, right? Like a human, or there's bits of her in a human line. Is that what he said? There's bits of who he okay. I forgot his exact
her
words.
bloodline descends through a mortal line, which would be fucking hilarious. Because remember, the whole joke in the series is like the mother has a sense of humor. So if the mother is Thea and fucking her daughter hated humans and her magic's in a human line, right?
Yes.
Right? So
Right.
Deanna's depicted or represented by Feyre, okay?
Okay.
Getting. Now, I said really quickly before I get to the other stuff, I said Mama Archeron could have been a descendant of Mora, and Papa Archeron could be a descendant of Mab. So those are, again, Mala's children. I said Elain is light, Feyre is dark, and Nesta, similar to Mora, has like the silver flames. Like, so Mora had like silver eyes, like the turquoise, but they were ringed in silver, I think. and like the silver hair and everything. So I said Elain is light, Feyre is dark, and Nesta's kind of somewhere in the middle like her with the silver flames. Which is that the power that she got from the cauldron? Elain has Mab's power, Feyre
Okay.
has Deanna's power, and Nesta has Mora's power.
Elain has Mavs. Oh my gosh. And Nesta has Mora's.
Yeah. That's what I was
Nesta.
guessing at least.
Okay.
Because Feyre having Deanna's is a lot more potent, which kind of makes sense for Feyre. High Lady of the Night Court, Lady of the Moon, of the Hunt, of childbirth, who just had a child.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
So stay with me here. I have one more chunk. Now, Mala and Brannon were mates, as we went over, right?
Mala and Brandon. Okay.
Mala was, the Lightbringer and the sun goddess and all of this stuff. And Brannon was a king of Terrasen who was actually imbued with very powerful fire magic from his mate, Mala, obviously.
Okay.
Now, Brannon,
Okay.
as we said, has, like I said, fire magic, and then he has red gold hair and amber eyes.
Stop it. You shut up. All right.
So,
I think I know where it's going.
So- and remember, they had multiple children. So under them, unnamed redhead amber-eyed children, unlike the other sisters, represented by Lady Autumn, Einar,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Sarah children, Bryce and
Freak. I just like had a freak out moment. Keep going. Sorry.
Bryce and Lucian. Now, Bryce and Lucian possibly have the Starborn light magic from his union with Mala. And, of course, Lucian and the other Vincera boys and Einar have the fire magic from them. So those are their that descendant from those unnamed children with fire magic and red hair.
Shut up. Holy shit. That's amazing. I think Lady A and Einar could be related.
Oh yeah.
Like brother and sister though. Brother and sister. Don't you think so?
No, because Lady Autumn only had two sisters. Remember?
And we're sure of that?
Yeah. So I think
Okay.
I did say I think Einar's her uncle.
Okay.
Because she like her parents kind of sold her to Baron or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's what Baron wanted her, needed her.
Yeah.
She's the one that's descended from the goddesses, not him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
My
I mean that's
gosh.
as far as I got, but
Okay, so this is really interesting to me. I'm like, I told
I
my
have
friends
to do
today.
another fucking family tree.
Yeah, no, we have to. But like we have to read more talk because I feel like it's like all explained in it, you know what I mean? Instead of like going, so like we have to, like, tonight after this, I'm like reading Assassin's Blade and I'm gonna like power through. But
but it would also go with, again, the whole thing with Cormac saying like cousins would marry cousins and this would, like all the bloodlines are kind of mixed. So obviously, like, come on, Feyre being like Deanna and like
so
Elain and Nesta being like other, like the sister.
goddesses.
Come on.
So we called it though, remember? Because we talked about like everyone in the ACOTAR world is gonna end up being
related.
Well, not that they're related, but that they're gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
Or that I think
descended
that they're,
from
them. Or they haven't made their ascension yet, and we have yet to see that. You know what I mean?
Well, so by what we just said, Mala's direct descendants would be the Spring Court and the Autumn Court, like I said.
But where are you getting Spring Court? Because I don't see Spring Court in this. I don't see.
The Ash Rivers. Terracin.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So,
And Autumn Court with, Brannon and the other unnamed children. And then you have the two named daughters, or supposedly named daughters of Mala and Brannon, Mora and Mab, who are, again, the Winter Court. Whitethorns, right? Winter Court. Heir.
mm,
Who's
mhm.
heir?
I don't think
Oh,
we've seen
Oh,
Air, have we?
well, again, the Day Court has son
Hamlin.
and heir too. So
Hamlin
they're
had
all
twins.
so yeah. Like it's all their unnamed kids. See, I wish we had names for them because then we could put it to the court. But we don't.
I bet you we're gonna get names. I bet in
We'll get
Hofast
names.
we're gonna get all the fucking names.
Yeah.
So interesting. So technically, the Van Sarah family and Tamlin's family, I'm assuming Tamlin's in Ash River, is what it sounds like to me, right?
Mhm.
They are cousins.
Yes.
The Spring and Autumn Court, they're cousins, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I
Yes.
love that. I actually love that they're like related. I know that they're all related.
Spring
but
and
like
Autumn Court are
specifically.
cousins, and then so that technically means that the Spring and Winter Court are also cousins.
Cousins, yeah. Yeah. But it's funny because the Winter Court.
But then when Mora fell for that human man and it's the Havillards, is that Grayson's line? Or is that Jurian's line? It's one of the human, who has dark hair and blue eyes? Nobody.
The only person it would be Reese. Everyone's saying that Reese is a
Well, we already
Havilliard.
know that he's part of this, but the humans, I mean, like who? Did it say what Grayson looked like?
Grayson had like brown hair. It said like he had like light brown hair. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like trying to figure out. Briar has black hair and blue eyes.
I said she has blue eyes. It doesn't say she has blue eyes.
Oh, it
I just
doesn't?
always saw her with blue eyes.
Well, every time I see it, I'm like, that's Briar to me. So I'm like,
yeah,
Briar?
exactly. So I'm like, she fucking has blue eyes. She just does.
Yeah.
I could not see her with any other color eyes. But yeah.
Because she's like a child of the blessed. Like, I don't know.
Ooh, the way that you thought of that and I didn't.
I was just hilarious. I know you're gonna use it now. Briar Havilliard. That's got like a little ring to it. Here's a question. Remember when the twins, those King Hybern's twins, like Brana and Dagda or something?
Yeah.
They found Briar and like two of her friends, right? Was that or no? Was that different?
No,
time?
they killed them.
Okay.
They killed the other ones.
I wasn't sure because there were backstories on the humans that they did kill.
The little ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. So we have Briar and we have like no backstory.
I mean, that's actually that makes a lot of sense because she is the only human who survived Hybern and was running and jumping with like lashes and burns and stuff. So can you imagine if she actually is like a human with magic, like Dorian?
Like
she
Dorian.
could literally descend from Dorian. Oh my god, I'm so excited right now.
I love that you're like, I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna call her Briar.
Dorian's kid or like Dorian's grandkid. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god. Briar with phantom hands. I can't.
But and that's why Hybern had her because
that's why she survived.
Yeah, and that's why she survived. Well, we think Hybern. Do we still think Hybern is
yes,
the king of Aderlin? Like just like down the road, right? Because wasn't that our thing? Is like we were like he was king of Aderlin.
I still think he's Asteri.
You know what? They're separate. There's no way because the king of Aderlin is a human, and I'm pretty sure he died.
I'm actually kind of thinking the king of Aderlin is the Under King.
Okay. Okay.
not Highburn.
Yeah. So let's do, okay. So this is
Oh,
really
you know what I
interesting.
fucking found out today with which rocked everything that I was so
What did you find out? Oh my God. If you and I are so bad, we spoil the shit out of the series.
whatever. I was so upset. You have no idea. So you know how we're like, oh, Valg is Asteri, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Valg isn't Asteri. Valg essence comes from hell.
What?
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm big mad.
Wait, how did
Big
you find that
mad.
out? The
So the
Valg?
Valg princes have to be siblings, cousins of the princes of hell that they just couldn't control, apparently.
Okay, wait. We
I'm
need to
getting
figure
so
this out.
mad. Like, I was so mad when they told me this. And
Who
another
told
little
you that?
tidbit. And another little
Who
tidbit. Huh?
who told you that?
The group chat.
And did they really?
Because I was like, they're like, no, they're Valgar from hell, actually. They're not Asteria. I was like, I was so mad. And you know what else I got out of them? Because they were just spoiling everything today in a mood. So Valg, which I'm okay.
What?
I think Valg, I think the essence is like the Prince of Hell essence, right? Basically what
Okay.
Apollyon put into the Crystallos demon.
Okay.
Essence. I think the essence is Valg. But anyways, Valg can only be banished or destroyed two ways.
Oh God.
With
What?
fire or with healing.
Really?
Yeah.
How healing?
So, like, the way that Irene eradicates, I guess, one of the Valg, I don't know if it's Erewhon or whatever. You can just keep healing and healing and healing and healing, and eventually, they'll whatever, but it takes like all of your energy, like a ton of healing. Or
Really?
fire, which reminds me again, which I think you know what I'm gonna say, of Azriel's stepbrothers trying to burn him.
So it makes total sense that Azrael's Val. Azrael's the Val. Yeah. So
So he's
so
a cousin of hell.
no, Azrael's the missing prince of hell, right? It has
So
to be
so
it has to be Az.
get this, there are three Valg princes in Tog.
It's all fucking in Tog. Why are we even doing this? I'm so pissed. Okay, tell
There's
me. Three
obviously
Valg.
Erewhon, there's Erewhon, Mantix, and Orcus. That actually brings me, hold on, I gotta pull up me and I have to pull up me and Hannah's chat. I forgot because I said that I was gonna bring it up tonight when I talk
Let's
to
do
you.
it.
Because it
I'm
kind of
so
relates to this. It relates to this. Okay. So originally, and this was it just trickled down into stuff. So originally, she sent me the quote that I had been fucking looking for weeks because I wanted to bring it up here, but I didn't want to bring it up here without the fucking quote, and I couldn't find the quote. Okay. So I mentioned last night not last night, the last time we filmed, how Apollyon and Adis are the two closest brothers, princes of hell, right?
Okay.
And so I think that Reese is Apollyon and he owns the pit, right? In the library.
Okay. Yeah.
So she fucking sent me the quote and I was like, oh my God, you found the quote. And she just goes, I was listening to the scene in Akasif where Nesta is in the House of Wind library, basically getting lured down to the lower levels and hearing her name being whispered and seeing deep blackness darker than she's ever seen it. So she does say like it was darker than anything I've ever seen since the cauldron. And Nesta says, here's the quote. I saw darkness, Nesta managed to say. Her heart would not calm. Pure darkness, the likes of which she had not seen since she'd been inside the cauldron. Gwen glanced between Nesta and the chasm below. We should go higher. Adis is the prince of the chasm.
Yeah, we knew that. We talked about
No,
that.
no. If Adis and Apollyon are the two closest princes, and their realms start in the same building, that would make so much sense because Nesta felt Adis's cat-like presence.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she said maybe the cat-like presence is Adis, blah, blah, blah. I said this, but she said, what if the house's spirit is Thea?
No.
Because if
No.
Adis and the chasm and the pit are there, and Thea was Adis's great love, what if he found a way to preserve her spirit? It's totally possible. Come on.
I mean,
Him and Apollyon, the way that he asked Apollyon to get rid of Peleus, and Apollyon just happened to save his essence and Peleus's blood to make a Crystallos demon. Experiments. And all these people experimenting throughout the world. Like, Adis had to have found a way to preserve Thea's spirit. Come on.
I mean, it is pretty cute that like
It's the
the
fucking
spirit in
House
his
of
silver
Wind.
flames. The House
Right?
of Wind. Yes. So okay, now that I think about that, that's a good idea. I do like that.
And everything is in threes. So if we have the chasm and the pit in the library, then Hewn City is definitely the ravine
Yeah,
with Thanatos.
with Thanatos in it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing.
Reese
Here are my
being
I
sneaky
like
cheeky.
this. I like this idea. But wasn't Orcus married to Maish in Throne of Glass?
He loved her and he married her, but she never loved him. I don't think.
So
So maybe
so he can't unless
Orcus was, I don't know if we're going by descendants, because maybe not maybe they're not the same people, maybe they're descendants. But maybe Orcus was just the lover, or I don't know, Reese's grandfather. I don't know. I still think it's Connell. But then how would he be that powerful? So maybe not. Yeah, he's not a
I know
shapeshifter, so maybe it's not Connell, maybe it's Orcus.
well, that's what I'm trying to figure out because okay, so either we have Rhysand, who is just lying out of his mouth left, right,
Which we already know he does.
well, not to this extent. If
He's probably a descendant of them.
okay.
Descendant of them.
Oh my gosh. So that's
I said,
but this is
but I also said this would make sense because if what I think is right and Bryaxis is a Crystallos, that means that Apollyon kept Bryaxis because maybe he was his first success. Which is where he spawned all the other Crystallos from. And he kept him in a sacred location. AKA
interesting.
the pit, which is what Cassian saw. Imagine like Bryaxis just spawning all these demons and Cassian we fucking
I love Cassie so much.
freaked
She's
the
like,
fuck out.
"Oh."
Reese was like, he would never tell us what it was. If it's even an it.
So
I could totally see like little Cassian just having fucking nightmares.
I love Cassian so much. I love that man.
Because again,
So
the title of Apollyon could be passed down.
so you're still thinking that Apollyon is recent
As of now. But it could
as
have
of
been
right
his
now.
father and his grandfather.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, like it's like a title. It's like a yeah.
Prince of the Pit.
I like it. So, could Orcus maybe be like Cassian's dad? I don't know. Like
Well,
he's
mm,
maybe not. I don't know. I need to read more
I don't
about
know.
Tog. But here's the thing: is if Reese stands, I mean, this is
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. Is
Reese
like
could still just be mind fucking everyone and be like, oh yeah, I had a childhood. Oh yeah, we were all kids together. Oh yeah, like
he
Maeve.
could be.
Like I said, Maeve literally did that to two goddesses, made them believe that she was their older sister, and took the title of Queen of the Fae.
See, this is what's so crazy to me is because like when you look at all this information, right? SJM is either setting this up for a huge betrayal from Reset.
I wish.
Huge, right?
I
But
wish.
it doesn't make sense any other way.
Mm-mm.
If you know what I mean, like, right? And like Reese has
But see
never.
that brings me back to Amarantha. Made herself Queen of the Fae. Like it's Maeve all over again. But she knew that Reese was a Daemati because don't you remember that Reese says like she steeled her mind against Daemati magic. So how did she know that? Just because your father killed her friend's friend, whatever, Tamlin's father. Like how did she know that you were a Daemati?
So okay, because I was thinking about this after while we were texting today. I
And
really
that would put them on two opposite sides of the fight. Like I said, Amarantha being an Asteri, Reese being a Prince of Hell.
it would. Mm,
And if Tamlin's an Ashever and knows where the gates are, that's why Amarantha fucking wanted him. Because she wanted to get back to her homeworld, probably. If
yeah,
she couldn't
yeah,
conquer this one herself with
yeah,
Hybern.
yeah, yeah. But couldn't she have just gotten that from Reese? Because I'm sure Reese knew.
He wouldn't have given it to her. If he's a Prince of Hell, he wouldn't have given her fucking anything. They're on opposite sides of the fight.
They are on opposite sides of the fight. And that is why she would have wanted Tamlin, is because he
Mm-hmm.
knew.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that makes a little bit more sense as to why she would want Reese to like bed her, right? Because it's not just like, because I never understood that. I was like, oh, cool, you guys get like so stupid.
Psychological warfare.
That's, but really, yeah, it's like you two are the complete opposite sides of the war,
Yep.
and he's your little
Bitch.
you know
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
mean?
I'm gonna show those
And
princes of hell what the fuck the Asteri can do.
yes, that would make more sense to me than just like he offered to warm her bed. Like
But also, and I don't
stupid.
really believe this, but also Amarantha could have been serious, technically.
No, I agree with you. I agree.
And
Well,
I mean, because the way they said, like, oh, she was the kindest, that doesn't necessarily mean she was a good person.
yeah. Doesn't
It
mean that
could
the
just
Asteri
mean that,
are.
like, she did give Feyre a chance, even though she was
That's
never going to actually let her go. She played with
that,
her a little bit, instead of just straight up eating her. I mean,
that's so interesting to me.
I had
And this,
another, I had another super, super crack theory, which totally
yeah,
isn't true, but I thought it would be funny. So Dorian's mom had the red gold auburn whatever hair, right?
she did.
I
Yeah,
was like, what if Amarantha was Dorian's mother
I
possessed by
would like.
Valg?
I would love that crack theory. I would be like, dude, this it's all making sense.
Queen
All the,
Georgina
I know.
Amarantha.
I know. Well, you know what? It's so funny because I mean, I haven't gotten
Because
through much of Crown of Midnight, but we
well,
don't know. I
because
don't think
if
we know what happens to her.
true.
I think we find out.
She survives. Her and Holland
Okay.
survive and they go up to some cabin. Dorian tells them to go up to their cabin and like whatever.
Okay.
But if Holland was Highburn,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
It would make sense.
Amarantha
Was the
but
mama.
but then why would the mom be his general instead of the? I mean,
Because again, no females.
no females, literally. This is very interesting what you've said.
I was like,
Very.
I have to write all of this down so I can explain it word for word.
Well, it's very confusing. Like I'm trying to just figure out
Because
how
we
in
need
the
to
heck
chart
did
out the fucking bloodlines. The fact that they don't have names is what's pissing me off.
Tamlin
Oh, and
has to
her
be.
other redheaded children, like,
Yeah,
so that means they have blonde children, dark-haired children, silver-haired
yeah,
children, and red-haired children for all the
yeah.
courts.
But that would, yeah. It'd be interesting though because then, what was I gonna say? Because technically, like Rhysand's and well, they would all be related. Like all of the well, not all the courts, but like Tamlin is technically related to the Vanceres and is related to like Rhys and Feyre, basically. Really, it's all about like Tamlin and Rhys when you like come down to it. Like it's really all about them.
And I would think that, well, actually, more could also come from Deanna, because again, they can shift the way they look. So
they look, so we don't even know what she looks
could have
like.
blonde hair, could have dark hair. It's the amber eyes that throw me off. But again, they can look like whatever they want to look like when they're having their children. So everyone just looks different all the time, except for the Ash Rivers, apparently, who never changed their appearance.
Who never changed. That's wait, you just said it really interesting. They can look like whatever they want to look like when they're having their children. Kind of like how Feyre, she like just put like was like, I'm gonna have wings. My kid's gonna have wings. That's all there is to it. Like
Exactly. Shapeshifters.
shape. It's fucking
The
Feyre being a
shapeshifters.
shapeshifter.
And she got it from Tamlin.
From Tamlin. My thing is this: how did Feyre get Deanna, unless she had Deanna's like line in her, like you said, like Deanna's powers, if all the seven High Lords just gave like a little drop, like you know what I mean?
Well, she didn't really.
Yeah.
She's
just like similar to her, basically. She's like represented by her, right? She didn't actually get Deanna's power.
So to add in another layer of this, who do we have named in Crescent City? But the Luna.
Yeah.
Deanna. So again, with the two worlds, like, again, ACOTAR knows Fionn, doesn't know Thea. Crescent City knows Thea, doesn't know Fionn. Opposite.
So it is the opposite. It just doesn't make sense.
It's difficult because you have the Asteri and the Princes of Hell inserting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what's fucking up because I'm like, okay, so is one truly just the Asteri and one just the Valg? And that's like what's going on here, and we're like battling against it. Because if that's the case, then Asteri would be Mav's
so here's how I see it, right? There's a planet of the gods. One planet of the gods, right? And gods, goddesses, whatever. And you have different sectors. So you have like Mala and her children and all of those types. And they want to make different species like the Fae. So she made her first daughter a Fae and, you know, down the line. And then you have the death gods who are like, obviously, the Bone Carver and the Weaver and Koshi and all that. And then you have like the more corrupted evil gods who are the Asteri, who want to just eat life and take over everything.
Right.
So it's one big planet of the gods, but there's different sectors of gods and goddesses.
Interesting.
Which is the complete opposite of hell, which is a whole other realm. And within their realm, they have different sectors of different species as well. So you have the princes of hell who rule, and then you have the people / sector under them who would be considered the Valg princes, Valgs, maybe their cousins, whatever the hell that is, because they're still technically humanoid, right? People.
Right.
And then you have the demons, who the Valg and the princes or create, basically. So you have those 3 levels, which again, those 3 levels of hell and those 3 levels of the planet of the gods. That's how I see
So
it.
the gods are bad then. The gods are all bad.
There are some outliers. Again, the bone carver's like, I want nothing to fucking do with this fight. Like, can you leave me in peace?
Yeah.
I just want to not be a part of any of this, please.
Yeah.
But
oh, I love the bone carver.
But he was still a creepy god that had to get off on life force through bones.
Yeah.
I mean,
weird.
I don't think he was just carving them. I think he was sucking the whatever was
You
left.
do?
Yeah.
That's so
Like,
interesting.
again, wouldn't bones technically carry second light
I don't know.
if the
I
second
have
light
no
wasn't removed? Or is
idea.
that just souls?
I don't know. I assumed it was the soul thing. I did not think it was the bone thing. I assumed it was literally the souls.
Well, because you have the weaver who takes it
Who
from both
the whole
flesh
body.
and hair and the
It
whole
was
body.
everything.
You know, the bone carver is the skeleton of the body. So, and Koshi is technically the soul of the body because he can split up his own soul and hide it in places so that
Oh my
killed.
God. Oh, this is it's just so complex. Like I feel like I can't make sense of any of it right now.
I'm like so excited. But the fact that like, oh my God, Azzy, the fact that they tried to like burn him to death because like, so like not all the gods are bad. Like Azzy's might be.
I
I know
love
what I
Astro.
am. And that's why he thinks he's like tainted. And that's why he doesn't think he deserves more or Elain or like anyone nice because he thinks he's inherently evil, basically.
Because he's a Valg prince,
Doesn't he
right?
say that about the citizens of Valaris? We've gone over this, yeah. How he's like, oh yeah, Cassian, and we'll like go and talk to them, and they just kind of like shrink away from me. Like,
Yeah, no one really. Poor ass. So everybody knows. My little baby.
like he's only half. He can't help it. It's not like he's using it to be evil. I mean,
No. I mean, he tortures people.
he's a
just like
Robin
when
Hood,
it's
okay? I don't care. Go kill the
when
adder,
it's
Azzy.
necessary. He
I'll
just
cheer you
tortures
on.
people. I know.
He only tortures torturers. That's what I say. So,
Well, I like that. And he's very well educated, very soft spoken. Like he really acts like a courtier, right? Is that what they're called?
mhm.
So that would make sense that he was a
But
prince of hell because
I also find it hilarious that like his evil side, he basically trained to just be like little friends of his. Like
I
the
know.
shadow.
So cute. He's like, look, I
They're
just
like,
got a little
no, we're
shadow.
not bad. We can prove we're not bad. And then they're
Yeah,
like dancing with Gwen's breath in the
I know.
air and like they're so fucking cute.
I love that. I love thinking about that scene. Isn't it like cool? And I just like imagine like
Horrible.
tentatively. Yeah. Yeah.
But see, that's another thing. I also think that they're drawn to Gwen because Gwen is like light and again, like moonlight, light, singing. I don't know.
Light singer, put it together.
Light singer. But see, again, I say this so much. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop
okay.
saying and again. Half of Gwen could be considered evil, half of Az could be considered evil. That's why they're mates.
I've been thinking about Gwen and
They're
Az a
not
lot.
evil. They're just good people that
Yeah.
happened to have this bad trait.
Yes, and like they're mislabeled by their labels. Like they're
Yeah.
or they're misunderstood by their labels, right?
Yeah.
Like So I think what's going to be interesting is that like Gwen has like sexual trauma, because I was like, why
Yeah.
would she put Gwen and Az together if he's supposed to be like the freakiest of them all, right?
Mhm.
I mean, because it didn't make sense to me, and I want to hear I want to hear your thoughts on this. But I was like, okay, so Gwen has like sexual trauma, she's been raped or whatever. So is that kind of like where they're gonna like meet, because he's really weird and like freaky and kinky and does like different weird stuff? Like,
So yes. So my thought is that, Az has outer scars, right? And he's super self-conscious about his hands and his shadows and how everyone looks at him and sees him. And then you have Gwen, who like all of her trauma is inner, and she has a hard time leaving the library and being seen and all of this stuff, which is kind of like Asriel. But then you have the whole thing where like Gwen is kind of fierce. Like she's still outgoing despite her
yeah,
fears, and she's very confident in herself regardless of her trauma. So I think she's going to be the one to basically teach Asriel like not everything defines you, and basically like you're more than your label, and you're not evil and all this stuff. And Az on the other hand is going to be like, okay, well, like he's going to teach her like the freaky stuff,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
but he's
like,
also I think going to be like, okay, like you're in control, like it's going to be a
yeah,
controlled environment, like it's going to be so
it's
cute.
a control. It's gonna be a control thing, or like a yeah, yeah. I could
Yeah.
see that. It's a control thing.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
my
like
gosh,
because like she has the ribbon, and I swear to fucking God, if she doesn't tie him up with her fucking ribbons,
I was gonna
I'm
say.
like, she better tie him the fuck up with her ribbons, and he better blindfold her at some point with his
I
blindfold.
know. I love that they both have like the ribbon and the blindfold and shit going on. Or like, what if Azriel's blindfold is Gwen's ribbon? I don't know. I think about that too. I was
Right?
like,
Like they could just, yeah.
I
And
know.
it's like until like she can physically say like, okay, like I'm going to trust you to give up control. Like I feel like that's going to be
Yeah.
a big thing with them,
Yeah. I think that
right?
that's the dynamic. I kind of feel like that might be the dynamic of like fine when they're finally like, okay, I can trust you, like I'm ready.
Here is a small clip of a past Gwynreel chat that I have never posted. I felt it was appropriate to add here. Enjoy.
I can't get involved too heavily in the Elriel and Lucian ship, because the thing is like I like Asriel and I like Lucian, and like it's just
I will
hard because
go to fucking bat for Gwen and her man. I don't care. Like you mess you mess with Gwen's second ribbon, you're gonna get me running my mouth. Don't you dare.
because I'm not like as taken up with her as everyone else is.
I am offended.
I knew it. I was like,
offended. She almost died for her friends. Twice. She got thrown off a cliff, shot in the leg, raped.
she's just like
Who did you just say you liked more?
I said like I like Gwen, but like she's
Don't finish. Don't finish.
But I will say I think that their traumas are gonna align, and I do see Gwen Real being endgame because she was like raped and stuff, and he's supposed to be like really kinky, but they come from like I think it's gonna be him like
And like the fact that he has to torture people for a living, like get over that.
yeah, like
The way that he
I
was
think
tortured.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think that they're both like equally traumatized individuals, and so it would be a good, and he's gonna be like helping her like get into her sexual power or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's what I see.
And not only
I
that,
don't
but the fact that she's the research analyst in the library and he's the spy master.
know.
mixed truth
Yeah.
and lies. No, but like he has all the information on the spy side of things. She has all the information on the facts, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really want just a little scene that I really, really want in their book is her. You know how she was like writing about the Valkyries or whatever for Meryl?
Yeah.
And she like
Yeah.
added them into it. I really want her to be like, there's like hardly anything about Shadow Singers in here. Like, I really want to write about
I
you.
would love that. I would love that. I mean, I did like Gwen. Like, I forgot that she wrote that bonus chapter. I cried when she like handed that to Emery and Nesta. I was like, that was really beautiful, Gwen.
Cute. It was so cute.
She's
But
so
yeah,
cute.
like I just want her to be like, your little section is so tiny and like we don't know really anything about you. But I feel like she never forgot him after he
No.
saved her, because she says to Nesta, like, you killed the King of Hybern, and then she says, with the Shadow Singer's knife.
Yeah. She
Like,
loves him. She
knows.
loves him. She was making like moon eyes at him at like their first like
You blame
training
her?
session. Oh no.
Has
I'd be drooling over Az.
me
Are
and
you
my
kidding me?
tire man.
I would crawl up Az like so quick.
And come on, Elain and Lucian, shining light, shining light.
I swear, if she
Elain also
seriously-
means fawn, and then Lucian's called the fox. Like, come on.
I know,
It's so
the fox, the
obvious
fox.
at this point.
Well, you would think, but she's really an unpredictable writer, and like that's why I can't hang my hat up, because like she could just screw us all. Like we could have it all figured out, and she'd be like, "I changed my mind. I got this whim a year ago, and I want Elreal to happen." And I'd be like, "What? What the fuck?"
No, I don't believe it.
I
Because she
know.
set too much up in Akasif. And like again,
But
the
it was
bonus
weird,
chapters
like-
have like the biggest amount of shit. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I messed up when I said that Mala was Helena, because Peleus completely flew out of my mind. Because remember, Thea hated Peleus because Peleus forcibly married and raped Helena and all that stuff. And there's nothing about Mala ever going through that. So that just means that I believe that everyone's basically saying that Helena is the start of Rhys's line, right?
Yeah.
Which would
Yep,
make sense.
Yep.
So Thea and Fionn had Helena. And then
Yes.
Thea and Peleus, which when they were getting along, apparently, and he was her general, which is why he married her daughter, she betrayed they betrayed Fionn, killed him so Thea could be with Adis. And
Yes.
we know that Mala is basically Thea's daughter. And if
Okay.
Mala has a sister, that means that her and Adis had 2 children. So she has 3 daughters, not 2 daughters. But I find it curious that Deanna was completely written out of everything,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
she hated the mortals and she was evil and sociopathic and all of this stuff. And I also found another pattern. So if Mala and Deanna were the sun goddess and the moon goddess,
Okay.
Helena is said to carry starlight. Moon,
Okay.
sun, and stars.
Yes. Oh, so the star would Helena's line then though would be Bryce's line, right? Or no?
Oh, yeah, could be.
Could be.
I just saw everyone saying, oh, Helena's definitely Rhys's line because Helena had the dark hair and the starlight.
No, they were. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that is her.
Yeah. Which means Fionn had to have dark hair, and he was the first Fae King. So
I'm intrigued because it's like I feel like we know Fionn. Like I feel like he's like alive somewhere in the book. I truly what do you know? Do you know the
No.
answers to that?
I have no idea.
I swear he has to be. I know that then when they were
Well, I
recounting
don't-
the story.
I don't think we meet any of the first people. Like
You
Fionn's
don't
dead.
you don't think so?
Like Fion's
No.
dead. I think the farthest back that we're gonna see is basically, like I said, Brannon, which was Mala's mate. But I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna see Thea or Fionn. Or I mean, we know Adis technically. He's still out there. So
Yeah.
Adis is probably the only one from
And
the first.
and Jessica.
And Jessica.
You know what's funny is I actually used to think that Jessica was Thea's daughter
What if Jessica's Deanna?
or
Or
Helena. Or Helena. Jessica's
Helena.
either
But is
Deanna or
Jessica
Helena.
Faye?
She's a
She's a
witch.
witch. She's not Faye, right?
But I don't know. I don't know.
But
Like
if
she could be
she
more.
had some of Thea's goddess power, she could look like whatever she
Shift.
wants to look like.
And also
Potentially.
she has the library that predates everything. It has all the books, like the
Mhm.
really, really old books. So I honestly think that Jessica is her daughter. I just don't know which of the three she is, the Mala, Helena, or Deanna. I'm inclined to think she's Helena because I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Cast
I
out,
don't know.
turning people into animals.
See, that's what I'm like. I'm not understanding. It's so confusing. I've been trying to like piece it together for like
But
a
then, like,
long time.
it's so weird because then, like, technically
Mm.
she would have known where the horn went because I feel like she wouldn't have lost track of it after Peleus
She
stole
did.
it from her.
She knew where the horn was. Like
She
Jessica
did know.
Jessica knows everything.
Ah,
Jessica, we never see Jessica in the second Crescent Say book. Like
I
she's not
know.
there,
I
and
know.
she has like unsurmountable amounts of money, which is super sketchy. Like she's always
Yeah.
buying stuff. And
But if
she
she's
knows
Helena, then
she knows
Adis
everything.
wouldn't be her father. Adis would be her stepfather.
True. No,
Because
Adis would be
no,
her.
because
Adis,
Helena was Fion's child. That's why she was Fae. That's why people say that she started Reese's line.
really.
Yeah.
So, are you sure that Deanna was Thea's daughter? Are you sure of that?
Yeah, because she's Mala's sister.
Okay. Okay.
The
So
moon and the
then
sun
Thea
goddess.
had 4 kids. There are 4
I mean,
because
nobody has kept track of this woman. She could have multiple children. She
many.
should just have all the children. Like all the goddesses are her children. All the
I was
goddesses.
gonna say like
all the
everyone.
goddesses are
Well,
her kids.
because I honestly think that Jessica has to be Adis's kid. Because just their like exchange at the end, like I didn't trust anyone, even you. Even you. What does that mean?
Yeah, you knew him best.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe she's not his kid, but you knew the male best. Fionn, okay, if she's not Helena,
So then
and
Fionn would also be Hunt's dad. I'm so
that's what I was gonna say.
But he was a Fae king. Like he wasn't an
But
angel.
and you want to know something? Hunt had one fey ear.
He did.
One fey ear and one angel ear. So is Fionn his dad? Maybe. Why did Hunt have that one ear? Like she's trying to tell us something, obviously.
That would be so
It
weird
makes
if he's with Bryce, though.
it makes no sense.
I mean, they do have I mean, to their credit, like in ACOTAR, they said that like all the history was lost and they're basically just guessing. And then we mostly get it in Crescent City when they explain about Helena and Peleus and Thea. And those are the only 3 that are named.
Yeah.
So they do say that Thea and Adis were in love, obviously.
Right.
And Thea had 2 daughters. One of them is
Yes.
Helena, one of them they have no idea. So kind of the history is totally lost. I would not be surprised if she had more than 2 daughters.
Yes. Well, it's interesting too. Like I never thought of this. Like the history is lost in the ACOTAR world. But that's because it's all in the Crescent City world in Jessica's library.
And
Like
the
Jessica
Tog
knows.
world, apparently.
And oh, really?
Well,
Is
because
it?
Mala
Yeah.
and Deanna were from the Tog world. They
The
have the
stupid
sun, the
series.
starborn shit.
Yes. So she had to have had 4 daughters.
Possibly.
She had to have.
Unless, hear me out, because it's getting more complicated. Unless she had 4 daughters and a son, and the son is Hunt's father, and Fion's son.
That I could see. That I could see. And then Jessica somehow knew Fionn or
And it would be,
Fionn
and
son.
maybe Fion's kids didn't even like him, and they liked Adis more. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, she writes it and it's hard to like, I know she purposely does this, but like we can't connect the dots. Like
I know.
she, like I know once she reveals it in January, I'm gonna be like, oh my god. So why
Well,
did I
if she
not see
would give
that?
people fucking names and actually keep their fucking names through all 3
Yeah,
series,
yeah.
it would be easier.
Of course it would be easier because they all have different names. Like for example, like Mala and Helena, are they in, I know they're not interchangeable because their
Yeah.
descriptions are completely different, but
Yeah.
like people are clearly like interchangeable.
But she's
you
also
know what I mean?
fucking with us with being like, oh, well, the goddesses can change whatever they look like at any time. So it's like they
And
could literally be anyone.
they could be anybody. Like she has made it so it's
Yeah.
almost impossible to figure out.
But like I said,
what
with some of the clues, you can figure it out because before I was like, oh yeah, Mala and Helena, like they both mean light. They're the same person. But then Mala was like, oh, my mate Brandon, and I loved him so much, and I gave him all these kids. So I was like, she ain't Helena because Helios was with Helena. So like you can
Yeah.
kind of do process of elimination.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but that means she didn't have 2 daughters. She had 3 daughters. And the list keeps growing.
It keeps growing. And then it's like I don't know a single thing about Maeve. I know a couple things about her. But like I know she wasn't a daughter of
But
theirs. Like
technically, if Thea is the mother,
mother.
wouldn't she just be the mother of all the gods and goddesses?
That's that I she has to be. She has to be, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like
But then
who the
again,
fuck is Thea?
no, because yeah, originally she was put with Fionn or married Fionn or whatever, the first Fae King. They had a kid, and then she betrayed him, killed him for Adis or with Adis. Adis is a prince of hell,
And
which
it's
is the
funny.
opposite of the goddesses, but Thea is one of the goddesses. The main goddess, the head honcho goddess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is
Here's my
fucking
thing
funny
too
to
is
me because the gods and hell hate each other. But they are just like, Adis was like, I'm revenging my babe's death. Like, I just think that's
yeah.
funny. Adis is so messy.
He's so messy. And Aiden, I
He's
love
so
how
dramatic.
he's so dramatic. I love how they describe
Napoleon was
him.
fucking pissed. He's like,
I know.
my fucking brother and his fucking love affair with Thea ruined everything. And you were
such
fucking Starlight. Now we gotta get rid of you.
he's such a messy little bitch. Like, and apparently he like caused them to like they lost the war because of Aiden.
His foolish goddamn heart falling for the fucking enemy.
I know. I
Because
love
if you
it though.
think
I love
about
it.
if you think about it, if Thea stayed on the side of like Fionn and like all of Prithian, all the whatever, like yeah, they probably would have lost.
Yeah. The Fae would have been destroyed. But it's funny because she's painted so evilly in like, well, I guess it's only in Crescent City that they talk horribly about her.
Yeah, because the Asteri rule.
Yeah.
The gods
So
rule. And they're like,
but it's
fucking
crazy
hell.
that she still died.
No, they're evil. Hell is evil. Hell are the bad guys. And that's why Bryce was so shocked to figure it out. Like, the Asteri have been lying to us. Hell is the good guys. That's why Thea chose Adis. So, was Fionn a Fae King possessed by Asteri?
That's a good question. Huh? That's a good.
Hmm.
Ah. Oh.
And that's why, I don't know, I guess that's why Peleus married Helena, or maybe Peleus was
I
also
know.
possessed and wanted children because they're very into like breeding and everything.
Yeah, apparently. I'm like, well,
So I have a feeling that Theon is probably gave Helena to Peleus because remember Thea hated him and was probably like, "You're not good enough for my kid. Like I don't want that." But again, all the males,
yeah,
Fae
yeah,
King, what the king says goes.
yeah.
Peleus forced Helena to have all of his kids, which again, unknown amount of children from them. Hello, Night Court.
Yeah.
Moore's line and Reese's line at least.
Yes.
Maybe Az's line too. Because they had a bunch of children.
Yes.
And then Thea's like, you know what? Fuck you. I can't believe you did this to our child. And
Yeah.
then pretends to submit to Peleus as a starborn prince. Because remember, he married Helena and then he's like, oh, I'm a starborn prince. It was like,
Yes.
took the horn from her and all of that. And so Thea pretends to be on his side, probably promises that he would be king if they kill
Mm.
Theon.
Yeah.
They kill Theon. She's like, fuck you. I'm out. Doesn't make him
Yeah.
king. He gets mad. And then again, they in the war, he kills Thea. Adis gets pissed, brings in Big Brother Apollyon. I was like,
Yes.
you fucking kidding me, dude? You gotta clean up all your goddamn messes.
I love it.
Fights with Peleus. And then he's like, where's the fucking horn, bro? And
Yeah.
Peleus is like, you're never finding it, asshole. Adis kills him and is like, well, I took your blood, so fuck you. I'm still finding this
Yes.
horn. Made the Crystallos demon to track it down. Somehow it ends up in Bryce's back because of goddamn Danica.
Danica and her many secrets. Fucking
Danica
Danica.
is definitely a descendant of Adis. She's so fucking messy.
She is so messed up. But like, she's such a shitty friend. She was such a bad friend to Bryce. Awful. Lied to her and daily on the daily.
I wouldn't be surprised if Danica knew Adis as well as
Oh,
Jessica did.
I would not be surprised. Danica knows a lot. She knows a lot of people.
I feel like Danica would summon him and be like, "Hey, old man. Hey, great great grandpa," and he'd be like, "Shut up.
He's like, you leave me alone.
Go away. Just turn into cat form and curl up."
I love it. I'm like,
But
I just love it.
but
I love
it's
Adis'
also
character
weird
too.
because Danica had like the white, like the silvery hair, like Adis, right?
Yeah. So
Shapeshifter.
the people that have the silver hair include Danica, Adis, who can shapeshift into a cat.
Well, silver white,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, silver white. Manon apparently has that, and Jessica has that as well.
And the original sister of Mab, so Mala's
Yes.
daughter.
Yes.
And all of the Winter Court, or at least Cal and Viv, and
all
that
of the
would
Winter
suck
Court.
if
What?
Goliath and Vivian were related.
Oh my god, they're like, hey, jokes on you. Just fucking suck.
Well, it's too late now. We already have a kid.
That's like, just don't think about it.
SJM, please
it's
don't.
Funny. No,
please don't.
I'm.
I mean, I get that they're like so far watered down, but still. I mean, technically, that's how the world is.
It kind of is. Like everyone's somehow related to everyone.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm
Hard
like,
to think about. But yeah,
I know.
mean, basically everyone shares like a common ancestor, so
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if there's like a god in Akatar that like we just don't realize is a god that's been like, you know what I mean, like going in between all the worlds and like,
Koshi.
you know.
Koshi.
Do you think but I thought Koshi was like on his lake. I'm like he's stuck there. Isn't there anyone else that can travel?
He's technically kind of like a, well, he's weird. He has 1,000,001 powers. Like he has shape shifting, he has astral projection, he has like mystic powers. So literally with astral projection, you can go anywhere.
Really?
That's why I thought he was the astronomer, remember?
Oh well, yeah. And he might still be the astronomer.
They have
But
the
it's
exact same description.
But it's weird because he was afraid of Thanatos. Like, if he's
Was not.
he's a
That was an act.
you
We went
think
over
so?
this.
Did we go? It's been a really long, really hard day. My kids bullied me all day long. Like, I don't even know what's going on. I didn't have
Really a
coffee.
fucking act because Bryce was in the room and Thanatos
Why?
was on the screen and he could have literally like,
Yeah.
bro, that's fucking Koshi right there. What? But they wouldn't
Like,
have
do you
known
know?
who Koshi is.
I was gonna say, can you imagine like not knowing who's in the same room as you? Like Bryce being like, "Oh, who is this guy?
Who's
He's
this
super fucking
dude?
creepy."
And come on, him taking all the females and all the mystics and everything there, like,
It was weird. It
mm.
was weird. And you
He
know what's
wants
funny?
Elain. I assume he wants Elain.
I was gonna say, what makes you say that?
He
'Cause he
collects pretty females. She's supposedly the prettiest.
the prettiest one, which
He's
always blows my mind.
definitely in her mind. Like, I have a feeling that, like,
Really?
Elaine's
You're
having weird astral meetings with Koshi. And she just doesn't. Okay, so the older, wiser Fae thing again, how I said, oh, well, Koshi's not Fae. He can shapeshift. He can make himself look like whoever.
so she's either meeting with
He's meeting
the
up with the
astronomer
astronomer.
or Tamlin. Either the astronomer or Tamlin. Like we can't decide who.
I don't know. I feel like Koshi wants her. Why wouldn't he? If Highburn
How
is
would
like,
he-
oh, she's so pretty and Highburn wanted her, why wouldn't Koshi want her?
How would he know about her though? He's over, you know, on he's astral projecting, but he's like stuck on his lake. Like, how does rumor really get by that quickly to him? I don't know.
I mean, he would know from Breelin.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about them. Yeah, I forgot about them working together.
Ugh,
Oh, there's a really
Breelin.
beautiful Archeron sister that we can give you.
Well, she probably ranted and raved about why she was a crone, and this old death god dude is like, I just want to take over the world, bitch.
I know.
Like, I just want to
He's like,
use
I have
you
to
and be
listen to
done
this
with you.
shit.
Like,
I know.
and
I
also,
got that.
again, when he literally just like pointed to them and they winnowed away because he pointed to them. Whew,
That's should be scary
show of power.
to
Nobody
everybody.
points that out. And I'm
Nobody.
like, we're literally shown the scope and Eris.
You're the first person that has ever mentioned that.
He's just pointing at people and making them disappear. Like,
I know. I'm
also,
I
I find it really concerning that Asriel, well, his shadows were freaking out around Koshi. Do you remember that?
try not
were-
to
They
actually.
were freaking out around Koshi, and they did whisper like warnings to him, but it wasn't fast enough. Again, shows the scope of Koshi's power. Because Koshi also has shadows like that. Weren't fast enough. Like he wasn't fast enough to grab Cass because he's like, go, and then like Koshi like winnowed him away, and I was like, ugh. And then he like grabbed Eris and shot into the sky. I mean, good for
Man,
him for saving Eris, even though he hates him.
I know.
Props.
I know. I'm major props, Azriel. We're so proud of you.
It's like Tamlin saving Reese. Good boys.
Oh,
Good boys.
I know. Good boys. Honestly, you know what's so funny is I was thinking about it and I'm like, I honestly feel like Tamlin, Az, and like Lucian are the three most like morally sound characters in the entire
Yeah.
universe.
And they're and even Eris, and they're all the most judged.
They're the most judged and most hated.
It's
Truly, they
ridiculous.
honestly are. We don't know a whole lot about Az, like, to be fair. We know like little things about him, but he's he's wonderful.
I had a note here that I've literally had here for 2 weeks now that I just need to get out because I
Get it out. Let's hear it.
back to the whole
Let's
Caltaine
do it.
being Azriel's mother thing and him like
Yeah.
doting on his mom during solstice and visiting her and everything.
Yeah.
Just if she is. It specifically says that Caltaine hates flowers. So I thought that was funny because of like, oh, so Az isn't ending up with Elain then?
Is that supposed to be like foreshadowing for the fandom? Is that what that is kind of?
Like it's
I love
already like Caltaine despises flowers.
Does she really? I'm so excited to read more about her character.
I
She's
was like, that's
apparently
hilarious. Like she'd be like, you are not marrying a gardener. Like you're
she
not
would
marrying a
she
gardener.
would hate Elaine. She would probably be the only person that hates Elaine. Like Kelty would be that toxic mother-in-law that would just
Oh
be
my
like,
god. She'd be like,
you know,
no. First of all, too frilly. Second of all, too bright. Third of
I
all,
know.
she smells of roses. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. Get her
I
out.
know I live in Rose Hall, but it don't smell like roses.
I know. It's really weird that, but you know,
I
it's
thought that was funny.
like Lauren could also be has his mom. It's like
If
less
we're under the impression
likely-
that Az is the world walker and not Tamlin and not Elaine.
Yeah.
I think SJM has purposely not shown us anything in regards to Elaine because Elaine's the
Elaine.
one doing shady shit.
I don't even care about Elaine. What do you mean? I'm talking about Az and Lauren right now.
No, but dude, like Elaine's gonna be the one to fucking teach Nyx how to like friggin'
No.
teleport, world walk, and all this shit.
Totally. She's like, it even says in Silver Flame, she's like, I'm a little bit rusty on my powers. I haven't tried it lately, but give me some time to reacquaint myself and I can help out. And everyone's like, Elaine, we don't need you.
Oh,
You know, like,
Elaine.
Elaine, go back to your bedroom. We don't
Also,
need you.
I'm sorry. I know I say also too much. I don't know
No.
why. It's just also,
I say
also.
also.
But nobody points out the scope of or like the reason why Elaine hears heartbeats. Like, how is that part of her seer power? It's not part of her seer power. Like, what other power could that be? Like a life force power?
I don't even know because okay, so clearly there's people locked in those big rocks or whatever in the night court, right? Like that's my
Mhm.
understanding. There's like Fae or like there's like something in the rocks because everyone talks about it. I don't know whose heartbeat she's freaking hearing. Or did she have like some connection to somebody? Or
Well, so I do think she can hear Lucian's. I think that she can actually probably hear Koshi's, which is why she was like looking out to sea, and then she was like, all the females. He has all the females, and it was like really seerish, creepy scene. She's different. She's different. She has feathers of flame, and like obviously she was talking about Bassa there, but nobody points out how I have before a couple episodes ago, but nobody makes a point to bring up ever that she also mentioned Farah and Nesta's heartbeats.
did she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she mentioned their
Yeah.
heartbeats.
It's in the scene,
Where's my book?
I think it's right after she talks to Lucian when Nesta's like, get out. He's like, I'm going, like after Farah was in his mind and he was talking to Elaine and all that. It's after that. And she's like, she mentions, like, oh, like I can hear the way your heart is pounding. Or like she said something like about hearing their heartbeats. And I was
Right.
like, so she can hear everyone's heartbeat or just people she's connected to because Lucian would be her mate and they're obviously her sisters.
I
That's
didn't know
why
she could hear their heartbeats.
Yeah. Feyre,
So
Nesta,
interesting.
and Lucian,
Really?
which is why it concerned me that she might be able to hear the other females because they're connected to Koshi. And that would technically mean that she was also connected to Koshi.
Hold on.
It concerns me all the time, and nobody is like, "Oh, Elain." I'm like, "No, you have to pay attention to Elain. What are you doing? Pay attention."
I know that's like the entire point. Is because like no one ever pays attention to her, so Ashram's gonna be like bomb, bomb, bomb drop.
Just the way that she even makes
Interesting.
the characters brush her off. I'm like, "No, you got to pay attention." I was like, alert. I was like, I have to pay attention to the shit
Yeah,
that she's
that
doing.
was smart of you. That's very smart. I don't know. I don't know.
Because she can't hear Cassian's as far as I know. She can't hear Azriel's as far as we know.
That's in
She
Acromat, right?
specifically, Aquawar. She
Okay.
specifically mentions Lucian's, Feyre's, and Nesta's, her mate and her sisters. So it has to be people she's inherently connected to.
That's not good. That's definitely not good.
It scares me. Again, with the Koshi lore, how we went over all of that. I know it's not actually pronounced Koshi, it's Koshe. I'm not saying Koshe.
Oh, is that what it is?
Weird.
It's
But,
so weird.
But yeah. And like the whole fight about who's Yvonne and all, we did all that stuff, and the
Yeah.
hawk and the raven and the yeah. Yeah.
It's just bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm trying to like go back and see.
But going back to the goddess stuff real quick, or not real quick, because we're just gonna keep branching out into different things. But I think I told you a couple nights ago that the goddess Oleana is in Tog, and that is in Crescent City. It says that or priestess Oleana, sorry. And in Crescent City,
Okay.
they said, the priestess Oleana is who dipped Quirion into the cauldron to make it meet or whatever. So I was like, Tog has to be the first fucking world. Like,
I'm torn between
it's
Tog and
the
Akatar.
first people.
I don't know. I'm torn because it's
Mala
like
and Branit and like the
yeah,
daughter of fucking Thea,
yeah.
and we have
But
the
then
priestess who does the service, and of course SJM tactic. We're in Aylin's point of view, and she's like, "I'm so bored," and she's falling asleep, and she's just like a teenager at a church
yeah,
service, just complaining to Dorian and Kale, and I'm so bored, and and then they drop the whole Priestess Oleana came out to do the service and started to talk or whatever, and I was like, oh my God! I see you sneak that thing in there, SJM. I see you sneak her fucking name in there.
yeah, yeah.
Among
I
the
didn't
whole,
even.
this is so boring, and is it over yet? And I'm like, Aelin, are you fucking 5? Calm down. She literally falls asleep on like Kale's shoulder, I think.
Yeah, I totally forgot that was like the lesson that they were going over. I need to reread it again.
They're
They were
like, yeah,
talking
you
about
need to go to a
Oleana,
service.
really? Yes. Yep. Well, it would make sense that Tog was first because they had the gods, and then in Akatar, Feyre was like we all forgot about them.
Yeah.
But then we read that quote today that was like where Aylin's like passing through the worlds, and she's like it was not her world.
But
So
yeah,
it was
because it's technically the future. They're like past, present, future.
But you would think that, yeah, I guess you could word it like that. You'd think she'd say something like, "It's my world, but it's not. It's my world, but it's different." I don't know.
Well, she
So,
said they were Fae. They were Fae like her, but it wasn't her world. That's why she thought it was weird.
yeah. They were fae like her. So I found the quote here in Akawar. So she did. I'm gonna just read it because I don't remember her talking about
Okay.
Feyre and Nesta. She did not love him, want him, need him, another male's bride, a mortal man's wife, or she would have been. She looked away towards the window. I can hear your heart, she said quietly. He wasn't sure how to respond, so he said nothing and drained his tea even as it burned his mouth.
Through the stone.
When I sleep, she murmured, I can hear your heart beating through the stone.
Mhm.
What does that mean? She angled
That's
her
why
head as-
everyone's like, is it Lucian? Is it not Lucian?
I know.
But-
She angled her head as if the city view held some answer. Can you hear mine? He wasn't sure if she truly meant to address him, but he said, no, lady, I cannot. Her too thin shoulders seemed to curve inward. No one ever does. No one ever looked. Not really. He did. He saw me. He will not now. Her thumb brushed the iron ring on her finger.
Yeah,
So
but
is
everyone's
she-
like, fucking Grayson? Like, why?
Why? How he did?
Such
He
a
saw me.
fucktard. Like, why? I fucking
He
hate
will
him.
not
Like,
now.
why?
I don't understand. Is she actually talking about Grayson there? No one ever
Well,
does.
and then
No
she's
one
like
ever will.
stroking the iron ring. Like,
It's weird. Or is that iron ring like similar to Tog, the rings in Tog? Is it does it have Koshi attached to it? Like, is it a possessed ring? I don't know. Give me back the ring, but he fought to have it back. Give me back the ring.
yeah.
No, I won't give it back to you. It was like an iron ring.
Is it
don't
iron
know.
though? Or is it ebony?
I don't, right? Is Elaine possessed right now? I don't know.
She stepped out of a shadow
I know.
to
It's
kill
so
the
cool.
king of Hybern. Fuck, man. Oh my god, that makes sense. If
What?
Hybern was Asteri and Elaine is possessed by Valg, Valg is from hell, they're on opposite sides, they would want to kill Hybern.
They would totally want to kill Hybrid and use her to do it. And also, I don't know
Elaine's the
why
Elaine's the next Kaltane, basically.
she could be. She definitely could be. I don't know. But I also used to think that Azrael was the one that was transporting her through the shadow.
No, he wasn't there. He was in the Illyrian legions.
He was? Okay. So it was completely Elaine all by herself.
She's
Right? I don't know.
half possessed. Because again, remember when we said that when she was like, "Oh, I was dreaming. I'm always dreaming nowadays." That's what it's like to be possessed by Valg.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, it is. I saw a quote. Fuck, was it on Tumblr or was it on the Tog thing? I don't remember. I saw a quote and I think they were trying to save Dorian and he's like, it's like I was dreaming. They like took over it was like I was like they took over my body. It was like I wasn't in control, but I was in control.
He said that?
I think so.
Oh, dude.
I'm pretty fucking sure that
we
was one
have
of the
to
quotes I
finish.
saw.
We have to finish. Get through Tog because like it has all the answers.
No!
I'm convinced.
Oh my god, can you imagine Nesta's reaction?
I know.
Terrible.
Real
Real quick. This was
It's gotta
under
be
the
quick.
goddess thing. It says one of their powers is omnipresence. It says the gods were able to spread
Hold
their
on.
beings to vast distances and be present in multiple areas in the world at once.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
But like,
Super
so Elaine is
sus.
possessed by Valg then. That's a fucking Valg
Or is she
ring.
possessed by like a goddess or something like that? We don't know. Maybe.
It is recording.
Okay.
I have so
Look.
many notes though. Okay. So as we know, I've been looking up the meanings of the people's names and stuff as I
Yeah,
said last
yeah.
night. And so every time I've looked up Tamlin's name, you can imagine what popped up from the fandom. Tamlin means a tool. Tamlin means like a bitch. Tamlin means a So like I literally could not find an actual like what the actual name means. But I found it today on a family crest website because Tamlin was actually originally a surname from Wales that was derived from Tomlin, which was derived from Thomas. And do you know what the name Thomas means?
No, what does it mean?
Twin.
Wait a second. Are you about to drop a twin bomb on me right now?
What if Tristan's mother is his female twin?
Well, first of all, I would absolutely love that. But what makes you think that?
They had to point out her blonde hair. She made a point in the bonus chapter after talking about the dad and his hard hearts and da-da-da-da. And of course, the mom was like, Sathya, my daughter, da-da-da-da-da, all that stuff. And they were like, oh, you know, Tristan looks just like his dad with the chestnut hair and the green eyes. And then Bryce was like, and his mother stood beside him with her flowing blonde hair. That was
So I would
He was like-
normally say that, but it would be the dad that's related to Tamlin, right? Because he has the hardened heart, and the green eyes.
I mean, but he has brown hair.
What if the dad's Tamlin's twin?
Could be. Well,
I don't
maybe.
know. I don't see it. I would love that, but I don't see it. I want
I
him
don't
to be
know.
a twin.
I feel like the mom. I don't know. Again,
Was
with
more
the
spring
females, like the
court.
males needing females for power, I feel like it could be that kind of situation.
It could be. I would love that. I would
Like a
love if
Baron
he
and
had
Lady Autumn situation where he like married her for power. And that's why Sathya is like, oh, I need to marry someone, I don't know, rich, whatever.
Yes.
The whole Sathya
Well
thing is weird too.
connected.
But again, adopted
It's so weird.
child. Like
It's like, why
another
would
spring
you...
court fucking person sent through the rift.
Well,
But
it's
like,
like, I mean,
who
why
else?
did you introduce her? Like, really? You had to introduce someone's rogue sister into it? Like, who cares?
But like, who else could be Tamlin's twin? And I know we're gonna get the comment where they're like, well, maybe that's a nod to him being Gwen's father. And absolutely not. I will not have that.
Oh,
No.
there's no way he's Gwen's father. There's
Who
absolutely no
else
way.
could be Tamlin's twin?
I'm trying to think if
Like
there's anyone
the
else.
father would have gotten rid of a fucking female child. The fact that he only had two older brothers, and we've said this with Eris. If Eris had, we speculated that Eris could have had a twin sister that
Mhm.
Baron killed or whatever. But if Baron did it again, like the whole killing Lauren thing and then killing Jasminda thing, like they're exact mirrors of each other.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I would love it, but there's just no evidence. Like, I don't know.
Why? I know like Ballad of Tamlin, but other than that, like I name him
Tamlin.
derived from Thomas means twin. Because everyone's like, oh, Tamlin's so mean and Tamlin's so blah 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 blah. And then Tristan's mom is like literally such a bitch. Such a bitch.
I love that she's like so nasty.
But what if it's just because like she was literally just tossed to another world as a kid and like maybe she's one of those orphans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Because like Hawthorne would be her married name.
It would be her married name. But we don't know Tamlin's last name. So it could be Tamlin Hawthorne. It could be Tamlin.
I was thinking it was Hawthorne because remember how I said that his line are cousins to the Winter Court line? And the Winter Court line are the White Thorns. Duh.
Does it say Callias's last name in there?
No.
No.
No, exactly. Whitethorn, Hawthorn, Moonbeam, Reese.
I swear,
Come on.
swear.
Come on.
Fuck
And
you.
then I said how we were talking about Tamlin with the gates and everything. Do you remember? Was it after when was it? Was it after she had the Feywine? Do you remember that part in Akhtar? I can't really remember when it was. When like I think it was after the Feywine where she like passes out or whatever, and then she like wakes up and she comes downstairs and everyone is like shocked to see her.
Kind of.
And like even Tamlin and Lucian are like, "Oh, like you're awake." And they're like, "Oh, you're awake." And that was always weird to me, but like what if she lost time? Like what if she was asleep for like a couple weeks? Because it was that. It was after the was it yeah, it was after the spring solstice thing because then she made note that they were like preparing for summer solstice or like summer solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice. And I was like, didn't the spring equinox just happen? Weren't they
I did not catch that on my read. I did not notice that.
like she woke up like they were shocked to see her. Like even Alice was kind of shocked to see her and they were like, "Oh, you're awake." And she's like, "Yeah." And then she like noted all the like workers or whatever like preparing for summer solstice and it
Yeah.
was hot out. And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." I was like,
They were just sleeping in a couple weeks there. That would be nice.
so that reminded me of Tamlin putting her to sleep when she was human on the way there. Uh, uh,
Nobody ever
Sleeping
talks
Beauty?
about that.
Like we talked about with Tamlin and
Yeah.
Brian? Is he like, I don't know. I feel like but see, then the people are gonna argue, like, well, he could have like helped her sleep then. Like, no. But I like
Don't give him more
but
ammo.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's messing with time a little. It was odd to me. And I never pointed that out because I just remembered it today when I was flicking through and I was like, it was really weird because I was like, it was just the spring equinox, but then there's like a little break and then like Feyre wakes up and it's supposed to be like the next day, you would imagine. And they're like, "Oh, you're
How
awake."
cool would that be?
Because she's
If
like,
he
"Oh,
can
the
mess with
effects."
time.
Didn't she say like, "Oh, the effects of the Feywine," or like something that alluded
Yeah,
to the
it
fact
was
that
something.
like the last night or whatever. And then they were like, "You're awake." And I was like, "They're setting
Huh.
up for summer already?" And she's like, "It was hot out." And I was like, "What? What? Makes no sense."
That would be cool if there was like if Tamlin was like a time traveler, like we talked about the other night. Tamlin and Nyx.
Or
I don't know.
what if
What? Sorry.
time not stops, but maybe what if time slows when Tamlin leaves the realm or like leaves the world? And
I
like
would love that. But
and like all the
go ahead.
people that like work for him are just like, "Oh yeah, you know, Tamlin is off on one of his whatevers." And then like Feyre just wakes up and she's like, "It's summer."
I love that.
Because Tamlin was doing a lot to try to combat stuff like behind the
Well,
scenes.
he was out there fighting all of those
Yeah.
monsters, like on his borders. It was really sad, actually. He's like constantly like
Yeah.
defending his borders.
And even in Akamath, it's like he was trying to figure out a way around the bargain. And
He was, I can't even. It makes me so upset. He was doing so much for Feyre.
it was I don't know. It was weird to me.
See,
That little scene was so weird to me. I couldn't figure it out. But like Cassian's cloaking, like we never see it happen.
No, it never happens again. I sometimes I feel like it's just like this little like weird thing that she includes and then forgets about. You know what I mean?
New idea.
What?
Just like kind of. What if
Drifted off
time
here.
slows when someone else is coming into the world?
That'd be freaking cool, but what's your evidence of that? Because time didn't slow for Bryce and when she met that inner circle, right?
I mean, like, did time, like, we don't really, like, Elain fell through, but then we didn't really see anything except Reese. Well, Reese slowed her down, but I don't know.
That's true. He did slow her down.
Which again
Al-
kind of goes with like, what if our Nick's theory is true? What if he was looking for objects like we said, but what if he was looking for objects to either reverse time? Kind of like a necromancy thing, like to bring
Or
someone
like
back.
are you talking about like the harp?
Kind of
Yeah.
like the harp.
The harp.
Because like we know where it is now, but it has like those things have a habit of getting lost.
Yes, they do.
Right?
Yeah, they totally do. They're always getting lost.
They're always getting lost. It's weird. As we said with Demaris, how like it heats up and turns to ice depending on whether the person is telling the truth. And I told you that that was very curious because that means that Reese knows about it, and Reese
Okay.
must know that Truth Teller may do the same thing because, well, Azrael too, because Azrael, remember, said it always strikes true.
Right.
Elain. But
Right.
Reese under the mountain uses the same tactic on the levers.
Yeah.
During
Oh, yeah.
Feyre's trial. Heats
We
them
were
up when
talking
she
about
touches it.
this.
Yeah, but we weren't recording.
Oh, that's right.
We forgot. There was
So what
that.
if it's
But
Rhysand Havillard?
Moonbeam, Havillard, Whitethorn, whatever. And then we had the whole amethyst ring that Kale gifted.
Oh,
Gifted
yes.
the ladies.
I actually love that because it was such an interesting scene. He picks up a ring out of like a basket for Selena.
Yeah.
An amethyst ring.
Amethyst. The only other
Why?
amethyst thing in any of the series so far that I can tell is Hybern's amethyst light, which is second light. So either the second light wards off Valg, or it lures the Valg because again, Hybern was technically Asteri. So was it luring Elain and Azrael, or like, does it amp up the Valg or does it counteract it? Because there's the black rings, which basically give them more power. So maybe the amethyst rings are, I don't know. It could be something. I don't know. It could be something.
It could be something. Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things I feel like it's such a minor detail that like we all skip. We're like, oh, it's an amethyst ring. Yeah. Who cares? But you have to watch that stuff.
Freaking check if these objects go missing over the series. Also,
there's an amethyst ring somewhere.
Amethyst ring somewhere. Maybe it's the ring that Nyx needs to time travel.
How crazy would it be if that amethyst ring ended up being like, oh no, because it's sapphire. Never mind.
But like, also in our last episode video, whatever, we consistently said that Thea was the mother, and we got that wrong because we literally spent the whole first half of the episode saying how the mother was punishing her for original sin. So the mother is above Thea, just to correct ourselves. Possibly.
Thea could also be the mother.
Technically.
Possible.
But then why would she like punish females?
Because I think maybe there's a fault. A lot of gods and goddesses are not good. I think that's the whole premise of Tog, right?
True, but then if Thea's the mother and like she's so protective over Nesta, and even Bryce technically.
But she was kind of protective over Feyre too, right?
We don't see any essence. Like we don't see any.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
And the cauldron keeps trying to trap Feyre. I think that's hilarious. Honestly. when she when Amber knew that like the minute she put her hands on the cauldron, it wasn't gonna let her let go. It didn't let her let go. And then she was like, I felt like I was traveling through worlds. And I was like, Feyre, the cauldron wants to dump you.
Put you into the void. It's also known as the void that Reese comes from, right? I
Yeah,
come from the
a void and a growth. Whatever the fucking growth is.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's really weird. It's like it's funny because it's really like nothing makes sense because you could say like even just think about like descendants and stuff. Like we think Togs first. I'm just thinking about the cauldron and stuff.
It's
But like at the same time, as JM said, different worlds. They're all different worlds. So I wonder if none of them are related. Like I don't know.
as
I
for
don't know, but I like this point.
as for like world walking and all of that stuff, we're like how I was talking about like in Tog, like Vaughn disappears and everyone's like, where is he? Is he a world walker? Da, 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 da. I figured out who he is.
Who?
He's part of the Triari in Crescent City. He's the hawk that we never see. He's always off on missions. The hawk.
Well, like
He's the only one of the Triari that we don't get to meet. He's like elusive and he's always on missions and he's never described. He's just the hawk. And his form is a bird. Ospreys actually get mistaken for hawks a lot. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Like laughing my ass off today. I was like, he's the fucking hawk in the Triari.
Yeah, but we never see him anywhere. When have we ever read about a hawk in any of the series?
No, like the hammer, the hind, the hawk.
Yeah,
Like they all have.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
But my point is I'm saying like I don't feel like I've ever read like one of the characters being like there was a hawk up in the tree. There was a blah 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 blah. Like
No,
never.
but the whole joke is that Vaughn was never seen again. And then even when he is like alluded to, he's technically still not seen again. Because like
weird.
he's the hawk, but then they're like, oh, the hawk is off on a mission. Like Vaughn's mission was to kill Lorcan. And he was just like, I'm out. See ya. Evading this war, jumping worlds. And then he was like, fuck, now I'm in the middle of an angel war.
I was gonna say he's like, oh, I just landed in a Triaria. I'm so grateful.
He just can't get away from war.
No.
He keeps getting hurtled through the fucking
The hawk is just
and like, can you imagine if he was like so he was Vaughn and then he was the hawk. He's like, why am I in these situations?
I swear to you that I don't even know anymore.
It was fucking hilarious.
I love it.
I was like, I figured out who he is, but if he's not
Well,
the hawk, if
we
he's not
we
the
have to retalk. I feel like I cannot comment on anything because I do not know enough on Talk. Like I can't
No.
comment on the hawk because he was in it. We need to read.
So
Okay.
I did tell everyone that the 21st of January and the 28th of January are going to be the 2 episodes before Hope Ass is dropped, and we are just going to have to go through Tog.
Yeah.
The 21st is going to be a huge fucking Tog chat.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Talk. Like that's the whole plan. It's just let's just do Talk.